Chapter 095 and 096, Declaration of Love and Truth. Rafria, aren't you cold? Use this, I bought it yesterday so it is clean. Hikaru. I take off my overcoat and put it on Rafria. It is an overcoat made of stiff and hard cloth, but it should be better than having nothing. Are you not cold, Hikaru? Rafria. No, I am pretty resistant to cold. Hikaru. You don't sound convincing at all with that pale face. Rafria. Oh, Hikaru. She slides towards me to the point of sticking her body to mine and then puts the overcoat to cover the both of us. The heat of us both was being concentrated by the overcoat and it was warm. But it is a pretty embarrassing situation. See, with this we are both warm, Rafria. Yeah, but Hikaru. Fufu. I spent the night sitting on the stairs with my previous party too, but I didn't in my wildest dreams think that I would spend the night sitting side by side with a man in this way. Rafria. Same here, I didn't even have any intentions of getting close to anyone in this city after all. Hikaru. Really? Rafria. Yeah, you could say getting along with you was a big miscalculation. Hikaru. Saying something like that again. Rafria. After that we didn't say a single word for a while. In this darkness that's ruled by silence, we were just feeling our body heat. Once this battle ends we won't be diving together again. She will become a Templar in her homeland and I will be living in this dungeon forever. She might come meet me every now and then, I would be fine with that. Being like this, I find it hard to let go of her. Those are my honest feelings. Yesterday Rafria brought me out to the light of the sun. Even if only for a brief period of time, I managed to forget about Earth. If it is her I might be able to walk in this world. I certainly did feel that. I want to be with her forever. Things would be so easy if I could just say that. But the more I think about that, the more I treasure her, the more I have to keep her away from me. It would make the 7 billion people in Earth watch her. Hikaru, I love you, Rafria. Rafria mutters. Who knows how many times she has confessed already. I can't even tell why she has liked me this much. But that might be just how love works. Just by being like this I feel so fulfilled that I don't need anything else. To the point that I forget about my household and about my little sister. Rafria. Is that so, Hikaru? That's why, Hikaru, even if this ends, I want to be together with you forever, diving the dungeon together, renting a room together. Without the time limit. Forever. Rafria. Rafria. Hikaru. She managed to say what she didn't manage to say before. I gave a time limit of 2 weeks. That's because that's the duration of the viewer count race, because I was thinking of using her in that time frame only. But I didn't expect Rafria to hold this much interest towards me in that period of time. She will most likely notice her misunderstanding and take distance from me. I thought that's what would happen. Just seeing the reaction of Alex, anyone can tell that Rafria is an outstanding beauty. Peculiar platinum blonde hair, big almond color eyes, glossy lips with a tint red, and her proportions are on the level of a model. A girl like that should have as many choices as she wants. That's why I couldn't believe that she would be swayed by a plain guy like me with no redeeming qualities. I thought she was simply telling herself she liked me because I saved her life and was doing all this out of a sense of duty. But there were no lies in her words just now. Her words rang seriously and earnestly. I can't be together with you anymore, Rafria. Hikaru. That's why I clenched my teeth and answered in this manner. I am attracted to her to an unbearable degree. I want to be together with her too. Just how fun would it be to continue exploring together with Rafria, and grateful. I feel like I would be able to find meaning in my life for this twist of fate that was coming to this world if it is together with her. My time with her was so special that I could feel confident about this. Even so, it is exactly because of this that I can't be with her anymore. It is not that you hate me, right? Rafria. If I were to answer that, I would be one mean person. That's why I can't answer, Hikaru. It is because I love her that I can't be with her. There's no way she would acknowledge an answer like that. But in regards to the reason, it is still not over yet, but it might be okay to tell her. No, I must tell her. If she takes distance from me with that, that's okay. There isn't that much time left. Once the Demon Lord is defeated, the viewer count race will end. I have borrowed the help of Rufria to an unbelievable extent already. Then why? I. Was a good party member, right? We have finished clearing the 3rd floor and we could have explored the 4th floor and maybe even the 5th floor if you don't tell me. I. Won't be able to give up. Rufria. Rufria, you know. I am not from this world, Hikaru. Eh? Rufria. She opened her eyes wide at my sudden confession. I said something incomprehensible. So this is natural. I came from a different world to this one around 40 days ago. You might not be able to believe this though, Hikaru. That's just. No, this is the truth, right, Hikaru? Rufria. She distanced herself slightly from me, tilted her body this way and looked straight at my eyes. Those eyes of hers had the light of someone that wanted to face me with sincere feelings. The reason I can't be with you is that we Otherworlders are being watched by the people of our world like gladiators made to fight as entertainment even at this very moment, Hikaru. Being watched, you say? But no one is watching, Rufria. Rufria looks restlessly around. If I hadn't been given the information beforehand in the status board, I wouldn't have believed that I am being watched 24/7 by people either. Don't look at me like that, as if I would make a stupid lie like this. Even now 800 million people are watching us and even listening to this conversation, Hikaru. 800 million, you say? I haven't even heard of that amount of people before. Rufria. The word million might not be a denominator you hear in this world. Rufria once again directed a gaze of suspicion towards me. Of course she would. If I had been told this at the time when I was on Earth, I would have doubted the other party's sanity. Chapter 096. Because I am an outsider and because I decided to live alone, I don't have proof. But right, watch this, Hikaru. I operate the status board, use 3 crystals and buy a blanket. A blanket came out smoothly from nothing. I placed that blanket on the shoulders of Rufria. Rufria was taken aback by this and was confirming the touch of the blanket. We get points depending on whether we Otherworlders have entertained the guys on the other side. The viewers, by using those you can buy a variety of items. This blanket was something I bought with that. The spirit energy potion I gave you before was from that too. This is something that would be impossible for the people in this world, right? Hikaru. But you have the shadow storage, didn't you bring it out from there? Rufria. If I had it to begin with, I would have brought it out a long time ago. Also, you take it out from the shadows with shadow storage. It is not like things come out from thin air, Hikaru. I sink my hand into my shadow and bring out a rope. Things come out from different places. The status board is in midair after all. But even if that's the case, that doesn't really make it a reason for you to not be able to be with me, right? I don't really care about where you come from, Rufria. I also wouldn't have cared if it were just about my origins. It is not that, it is the part about the viewers watching. It is a situation I can't do anything about, Hikaru. I don't really mind, though I can't even feel it after all, Rufria. Rufria tilts her head cutely. I figured she would be answering like that. Can't even feel it, not feeling the reality of it. I probably don't even feel it either. The only thing that shows me this are the numbers in the status board after all. Or maybe the unread messages that I still haven't opened and continuing greasing? It bothers me. I don't want to display you to others. Rufria. I don't want them to look, Hikaru. Don't want them to look, you say? Are you talking about that night? Rufria. That's right, I am truly sorry about that night. I was drunk and I didn't expect you to make such a bold move. Rufria. Wait, that's just me making excuses. You can reprimand me as much as you wish, Hikaru. That's something I did myself, so I don't really mind him. You don't want them to see me, huh? Is that possessiveness? Rufria. She gave me an upward glance and her mouth curved up as she asked me this. Don't make such a happy face. It is possessiveness. No, if I had to put it more accurately, it is a more complicated feeling. But anyways, I had you cooperate with me without telling you something this important, Hikaru. I don't get it. You can fight pretty well by yourself, right, Hikaru? You don't really need my help, right? You even gave a deadline, so you got to explain everything to me, Rufria. I needed to increase my viewers no matter what for these 2 weeks only. If I get first place I can get a special item I wanted no matter what, Hikaru. I was repulsed at myself just saying it. I wanted something so I used you. That's basically what it meant. What do you get? Rufria. When she asked me this I decided to tell everything to Rufria. It seems like there's still time before the Demon Lord shows up. I spoke about Nanami. About how I came to this world after having been killed. About how I barely made it out of the forest with my life. And that I am hated to death by the people on the other side because I am suspected of being the one that killed my childhood friend. Rufria silently listened to my story. I don't know if she will be able to understand even if I explain it to her. It should be really hard to understand for the people in this world, including the circumstances. Even so, I spoke. Once I began speaking I couldn't stop. I ended up talking on and on insidedly. Maybe I just wanted someone to hear me out, Alex said. It is painful not being able to talk about my own roots. I feel like I understand the meaning now. It didn't click with me at that time, but it really is hard to understand oneself. That's everything, the reason why I'm here, Hikaru. So that's how it was. Rufria. It is questionable whether Rufria actually properly understood my circumstances. But by hearing me out I feel like a bit of my worries in my chest had been taken away. That childhood friend is a girl, right? Was she your girlfriend? Rufria. We didn't have that kind of relationship. She was the closest girl I knew, but we knew each other since infancy, so I would say we were more like siblings. Like family, Hikaru. Family. Rufria. That's most likely the closest word that can describe my relationship with Nanami. Compared to my little sisters that were not normal in a whole lot of ways, the normal Nanami was someone that allowed respite in my heart. Anyways, I am sorry for keeping it from you. But with this you should be able to understand why I can't be with you also. Once this viewer count trace ended I intended to pay for having used you without your consent after getting first place. Once I managed to revive Nanami I would have done anything possible. I wouldn't have minded dying if that's what you wished for, Hikaru. Dying, you say? There's no way I would wish for that also. Even when you told me all that it really doesn't click with me or like. I understand that you are telling this really seriously, but I don't really mind, you know. If they want to watch, just let them watch, Rufria. I knew you would say that, Rufria, but I don't want to. I can't drag you into this. I don't want to, Hikaru. Diving into the dungeon and defeating a demon lord, even if I hadn't asked it, is something that an explorer can't avoid if they continue that line of work. That's why as long as she is okay with the fact that I delayed her retirement there's no problem. But dragging her into a live stream that is attached to another worlder like me is a different story. No matter how much I explain to Rufria, there's no way she would be able to get it. It is a world where PCs, smartphones and even TVs don't exist, so there's no way she would be able to understand. I am not such a fiend that would go "it is fine" since she said it is fine. There's also the fact that I am being hated. I would drag her into that too. Is there nothing that can be done? Rufria. Nothing. Also, you have your dream of becoming a Templar, right? Forget that. You met me and make your dream come true, Hikaru. Then what would happen with you, Hikaru? What are you going to do after we go our separate ways? Rufria. I still haven't thought about it, but maybe I'll live my life hunting monsters, mainly in the second floor, Hikaru. If I hunt monsters in the second floor while doing almost the same thing every day, I won't be getting the attention of the viewers, and it shouldn't be a bad lifestyle. I am pushing myself here because I want to revive Nanami, but it is actually a bit rough on me. The voices of the spirits, the gazes of the spirits. There are times when I would misconstrue them as the gazes from Earth. After reading those messages, I was completely traumatized. Even now, somewhere in my heart, I still have the desire of living in the darkness forever. Do you intend to die? Rufria. Those words of Rufria startled me. Once I revive Nanami, I will eventually give up on living and put an end to it. I felt as if she had seen right through that part in my heart that felt it was okay to do that. I won't die. I will simply be going back to how I was before I met you, Hikaru. Liar. Don't lie to me with a face like that, Rufria. It is not a lie. Well, I will probably be leading what's basically a dead life though, ha ha ha. Hikaru. I tried laughing it off lightly. I honestly think that was a pretty bad deflect, but she didn't pursue it further. She must have understood that my feelings are not going to be changing. Hikaru, I told you I have a little sister, right? Do you remember that? Rufria. I do. You said you had a talented little sister, Hikaru. I also told you I was dungeon diving because I needed money, right? Rufria. Yeah, Hikaru. And so I didn't tell you this, but my little sister is ill. The medical treatment requires a lot of money, Rufria. Rufria said before that the reason why she dungeon dove was because she was training to become a Templar and to earn money. I didn't think too deeply as to how she would be using that money. You are remitting that money? Hikaru. Yeah. My mother has already retired from being a Templar. Living off of the pension is one thing, but it isn't enough for the treatment, Rufria. I see. Rufria and her little sister were supposed to become Templars and earn money for their family. Because that plan has crumbled, she has been sending money home while training to become a Templar. Is basically how it is, huh? Then there's more reason to pass the Templar exam, Hikaru. Wrong, Hikaru. The Templar business is fine already. I will be an explorer here forever. Together with you, Hikaru. Rufria. Don't be silly, Hikaru. I have been able to send a whole lot of money home since I made a party with you, Hikaru, and with this there's no need to force myself to become a Templar. More importantly, it would be better to be together with the person I love, Rufria. Rufria. Hikaru. I don't want her to shake my heart. Do you know just how much I want to be by your side too? Is this just my own selfishness or the right act? I don't get anything at all. I don't, but there's nothing that can be done. I want you to understand, no is a no, Hikaru. Rufria hung her head down and her shoulders trembled. I didn't even have the right to take those shoulders in my embrace and continued watching the deep darkness expanding to the lower floors with an absent mind. Chapter 097. Exclusive Chosen Bulletin Board JPN, No apostrophe 1000, Kurose Hikaru. 3687th. 4. Anonymous from Earth. Because we are watching, Hikaru is taking the path of misery himself. 8. Anonymous from Earth. But I can't stop watching. The more Hikaru treads into the darkness, the less I can take my eyes off. Sorry for being a piece of shit. 10. Anonymous from Earth. It must be pretty rough for him. I feel bad for him, like. Seriously. 14. Anonymous from Earth. He said he would do anything, but being together is a no, huh? 16. Anonymous from Earth. He once again said that he arrived in that world after being killed. I would like to hear more about the situation in detail though. 19. Anonymous from Earth. Most of the information it comprises comes from the announcements of the police and the speculations of Celica. After all, what's most important is to apprehend the culprit. 22. Anonymous from Earth. Wonder with what eyes the culprit is watching Hikaru. 25. Anonymous from Earth. More importantly, he finally said he wants to revive Nanomichan. It is just as Celica thought. No anyone could tell. 28. Anonymous from Earth. Nanomichan really played a big role in Hikaru's life. Hikaru rejecting Rufria here must be because of Nanomichan. 30. Anonymous from Earth. He says it is not because of love, but that also means that's how important his family is. 32. Anonymous from Earth. Now that I think about it, I have been watching all this while with this in mind, but Hikaru himself didn't outright state he was reviving Nanomichan until now. 35. Anonymous from Earth. Seeing Rufriakan so desperate made me want to cry. No, I cried. 37. Anonymous from Earth. For some reason I cried too. This is sad. 39. Anonymous from Earth. Celica, I think Kunogen considers the objective of Rufriasan to become a knight as incredibly noble, but she herself is saying she is fine with throwing that away. Her objective might be the equivalent of I went to college in order to get a job at the local bank. 44. Anonymous from Earth. It is not like the person herself said that that's her dream after all. Greater than Templar. 47. Anonymous from Earth. Her household is renowned for their Templars, so she probably can't just easily say maybe no. People like Celica, who are geniuses that can open their own paths as much as they want, wouldn't be able to understand that feeling. The importance of the rails set for you. 48. Anonymous from Earth. Rufria saying plainly that she wanted to rent a room with him made my heart skip a beat. She definitely doesn't understand the meaning of being watched by 800 million people. 52. Anonymous from Earth. Of course she wouldn't. Even I wouldn't be able to. 53. Anonymous from Earth. Even though Hikaru was most likely in love with Rufria a long time ago. What's with this? What in the world is going on? 54. Anonymous from Earth. Still being only 15 years old and not being able to dream of the future is too painful. 55. Anonymous from Earth. He has already secured a way to earn money, so I don't think he is too down in the pits though. 59. Anonymous from Earth. I haven't been popular with women or have money. Of course no future either. 66. Anonymous from Earth. If you get high kid you might have another chance. How about participating in the Suspicious Lifestyle to be Chosen by God seminar? 71. Anonymous from Earth. There's rumors that there are quite a good amount of participants in those seminars. With God being proven real, the supernatural trait has gotten revitalized. 79. Anonymous from Earth. They aren't getting hit with divine punishment from that. 83. Anonymous from Earth. Divine punishment doesn't hit small-scale stuff. The reality is that the killers of the Chosens before the transfer didn't get divine punishment. 88. Anonymous from Earth. It is only towards people that tried to manipulate the viewership on a large scale. That's when divine punishment-like stuff happened. Also the people that would say I was the one who made it towards edited videos other people made. 91. Anonymous from Earth. Chosen killers were probably within the plans of God. In the end, no matter if it is in the past or the present, that's something that would have definitely happened, considering that controlling the viewership is probably taken as being in the bounds of God. 94. Anonymous from Earth. If we think about it with the perspective of the origins of humanity until now, the ability to broadcast began just recently. 97. Anonymous from Earth. The world was connected with the internet only a few decades ago. Until then the world overseas was truly so far that it felt like an Isekai itself too. 102. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru being watched by us equals Rufria being exposed to evil intent too. Is that the possibility he is thinking? If he learns that there's no such intent when he opens the messages, maybe he would accept Rufria. 105. Anonymous from Earth. Celica also touched on that possibility. 111. Anonymous from Earth. Celica, for Anichen the very gazes are not good or like. I think he has perceived them as something bad even when watching other chosen. None have said they felt gazes, so it is most likely just an issue of perception. However, that's on the contrary making the problem more complicated. You can't cut off something that's not even tangible, so there's no choice but to have Anichen change his perception. Karen, then wouldn't you be able to tell there's no people with bad intentions if you were to open his messages? Celica. It depends on the person whether they believe that or not. Our only connection with the chosen are the messages, you know. The problem is where he would go. If all messages are warm, then there's no problem. Karen, Anna is stubborn in weird places after all. 118. Anonymous from Earth. Celica touches on the topic that our only connection is the messages every so often. This situation where the filter of God has been placed on the messages towards the chosen is way too fragile, and it is easy to warp the truth of things. 119. Anonymous from Earth. There's a character limit to it, and what's shown in the status board is just the digital text. There's not even an avatar icon and no information of the sender. 127. Anonymous from Earth. The craftiness of God shows here. The fact that it is not an actual proper messaging function but a simplified one. 131. Anonymous from Earth. They probably want to take the stance that we are simply fans of the Chosen. 134. Anonymous from Earth. There might be an actual mail function in the future. 138. Anonymous from Earth. There's the chance for a telephone one too. That would be tasty for the viewers too after all. 139. Anonymous from Earth. At the same time in another place Alex and his party. 144. Anonymous from Earth. I laughed my ass out with Alex's side. 146. Anonymous from Earth. Are those two snuggling up with one overcoat? They're doing the rank 3 in what I wanted to do at least once after becoming an explorer. Seriously? Whoa. 149. Anonymous from Earth. Idiots I can't bring myself to hate. 152. Anonymous from Earth. Celica, even we haven't done anything bittersweet with Unitchin like that. Karen, calm down, but that certainly ranks high in what an explorer would want to do at least once. 159. Anonymous from Earth. This is my first time seeing them speak like that. 164. Anonymous from Earth. Karen has fallen on the same level as Alex and his party. 168. Anonymous from Earth. You flush. Phew, sorry about that 4-card sky. Those idiots really are idiots. 173. Anonymous from Earth. Playing board games with those guys sounds like a lot of fun. 174. Anonymous from Earth. Tension 0. 178. Anonymous from Earth. I laughed out loud when they didn't even notice a ghoul getting really close because they were so into their poker game. 182. Anonymous from Earth. Anyways, they should just forget about us watching and just flirt with each other. 187. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru is way too stoic. 192. Anonymous from Earth. Well, I do understand the feeling of not wanting others to see the cute sides of their loved ones. 194. Anonymous from Earth. Then are you okay with Rifriasama getting married with someone else? 199. Anonymous from Earth. No way I would be, don't even joke about it. 205. Anonymous from Earth. Celica said Hikaru stated this with that resolve in mind. 209. Anonymous from Earth. What a man. 216. Anonymous from Earth. Ain't that NTR? 218. Anonymous from Earth. Say that once it actually happens, you heretic. 220. Anonymous from Earth. There's a whole ton of Chosen who don't care one bit about that after all. 222. Anonymous from Earth. Like Master Don Juan, it even feels as if he is showing us. 227. Anonymous from Earth. It is that style of acting after all. 228. Anonymous from Earth. If it is an issue with money, doesn't Hikaru have a rare plant? Isn't it okay to bring that up? 234. Anonymous from Earth. It may be rare, but it is unknown how much it can be sold at. 236. Anonymous from Earth. It is one flower, so it would be crazy highly priced if it goes for 1 million, but for Hikaru and the others 1 million isn't that much. 239. Anonymous from Earth. True. 247. Anonymous from Earth. If you are going to be living a modest lifestyle, then you might be able to survive for 1 year with just that one flower, but the treatment of Rifriasama's little sister is probably not on that scale. 253. Anonymous from Earth. But the equipment of Rifriasama is pretty nice, so maybe she isn't sending that much money back home. 258. Anonymous from Earth. That equipment aside from the sword, there are theories that maybe they are all hand-me-downs from her master. 265. Anonymous from Earth. Leaving aside what's the truth behind it, equipment and tools are a necessary expense for explorers trying to be frugal on that front, and ending up not performing well as an explorer would be putting the cart before the horse. 267. Anonymous from Earth. But if she can't become a Templar. What would she be doing then? 275. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru said that he won't be partying with her. Even if that happens, he is simply doing his best right now because he has the mission of getting first place to revive Nanamichan. 277. Anonymous from Earth. The description of the aforementioned flower had written that it might serve for some sort of disease, right? I am sure that flower can cure disease of her little sister with that. I have read enough web novels to know where this is going. 285. Anonymous from Earth. Don't lump reality with fiction. 291. Anonymous from Earth. Leaving aside the other effects, can't they just use a panacea or something? 294. Anonymous from Earth. That. 300. Anonymous from Earth. The panacea requires 3 points though. 303. Anonymous from Earth. You people are idiots. The disease of her little sister has nothing to do with Hikaru not being able to stay with Rifria. 310. Anonymous from Earth. No, it must be serving as shackles for Rifria herself. Once the matter of the little sister gets solved, she would be the very definition of an unfettered stalker. You can manage something by pushing incessantly against a gutless virgin like Hikaru. 313. Anonymous from Earth. The little sister of Rifria Samu apparently had a brighter future than her. After all, if the little sister's disease is cured, the little sister will be the one becoming the Templar. Rifria would be a free person then. 318. Anonymous from Earth. Alright, let's go with that story. Now let's tell him through messages. 320. Anonymous from Earth. Don't even have anyone we can send it to. Maybe send it to Alex. 327. Anonymous from Earth. If we send it to Alex, won't he instead begin to make a pass on Rifria? 333. Anonymous from Earth. Jeanetchen is going to be arriving at Melchia soon, so maybe tell Jeanetchen? I am sure she will get pissed off though. 339. Anonymous from Earth. I am not a messenger girl. 349. Anonymous from Earth. That's actually starting to become a catchphrase for Jean. For some reason there's a lot of, tell X person this or do Y this or please do Z. Even though she seems to be completely fed up with this, Jean still properly grants them, which says a lot about her. 355. Anonymous from Earth. I think she considers the messages as some sort of quest. She is a gamer after all. 357. Anonymous from Earth. Telling Jean is fine and all, but the messages themselves are not so easy to send now. At the beginning maybe because God didn't adjust it well, or it might have been a limited time event because it had just opened. Anything reached. 359. Anonymous from Earth. Because of that a whole lot of flaming and slander reached Hikaru though. 364. Anonymous from Earth. Now you can't do it unless you have strong emotions accompanying it. I also tried sending messages to Jeanetchen for the fun of it, but they were all bounced off. 368. Anonymous from Earth. The messages of family reach at a decent rate, so it really is about love. You are my pride and joy by Mum. 374. Anonymous from Earth. Americans really like that phrase. Those were also sent to Alex, right? There, I am proud of you. 377. Anonymous from Earth. In the silent darkness only the sobbing of Rifria Sama resonates in the stairs to the 4th floor. The pale profile of Hikaru is painful to watch. 378. Anonymous from Earth. The message function really has its goods and bads. I would say it tilts more on the bad side though. 383. Anonymous from Earth. Not really. Take Alex for example, he seems to actually be getting healed by the messages of his family. 385. Anonymous from Earth. How can we have Alex tell Hikaru once again to open his messages? 388. Anonymous from Earth. It seems even Celica and Karen can't send too many messages. Moreover, there seems to be a system where the more you send, the less probably your next ones will be sent. 392. Anonymous from Earth. There's no way they would implement a system where you can solve things by spamming the send button after all. 399. Anonymous from Earth. Well, even if your letter arrives, it normally doesn't equate to having them move according to it. It is the same logic as when someone tells us to study more, drink more energy drinks, don't eat ramen, or don't eat at night. We just don't listen. 413. Anonymous from Earth. In the eyes of Alex, participating in a demon lord subjugation looks as if he is adapted to the fantasy world after all. 417. Anonymous from Earth. Alex is a good guy, but he is pretty self-centered, or like he has the nature of the youngest child. He is not the type to worry much about others. Well, that's also part of his charm though. 422. Anonymous from Earth. In his conversation with Hikaru, he was talking about himself the whole time after all. 428. Anonymous from Earth. The fact that he at least tried telling him makes him a good guy. There was absolutely no benefit for him in this after all. 433. Anonymous from Earth. I confirmed the message history, and it seems quite a lot of negative messages have reached Alex too. Or more like there's few chosen who don't get negative messages. The chosen wiki is written that Alex is the type to skim through messages that are not from his family or friends. 441. Anonymous from Earth. Isn't it just that he tried avoiding sensitive topics in a time when they are about to subjugate a demon lord? 444. Anonymous from Earth. This is just for discussion, but in what way do we even tell Alex in order for it to properly transmit? The person himself has closed off his heart, so no matter how it is told to him, it wouldn't work. Moreover, it comes from a third party that has nothing to do with it. There's no way it would resonate with him. 448. Anonymous from Earth. The relationship Hikaru has with his family seems dicey after all. Karen muttered, I can't deny that there's a difference in temperature when it comes to feelings. 450. Anonymous from Earth. Alex. There was a message from your little sisters. Hikaru. From my little sisters? Thump. 459. Anonymous from Earth. Doesn't look like this will work. 461. Anonymous from Earth. Is Alex strong? He is a chosen, so he should be stronger than your average person because of his god skills though. 470. Anonymous from Earth. No, he has the characteristic messy point allocation that people who don't play games show in their character making. It is clear that it is better to have a specialization like Hikaru and Ginech, and so I really can't say he is strong. Well, even with that, he has a good physique and has the courage, so he ain't that bad. 478. Anonymous from Earth. As someone who skims through the line messages of my family, no matter how many times they tell me to read the messages, I would just go, I know. 480. Anonymous from Earth. It resembles the cases when you cut off communication with your family in the time you slack in college. 482. Anonymous from Earth. The resurrection gem can be used on natives as well, so there's also the possibility of using it when Rafria dies. Or more like, is the Demon Lord battle going to be alright? They may be all relaxed because they are in a subjugation team, but Hikaru and Rafria are alone, so wouldn't they be in danger if they were to be attacked? 488. Anonymous from Earth. He is a loved one, so he attracts demon lords and all. 499. Anonymous from Earth. Loved ones don't really have such high value as prey, you know. Using loved ones to attract demon lords has been long done in the past, and the conclusion is that it can only detect them when they are a few tens of meters close. In the first place, if it could attract them even when they are hundreds of meters apart, there would be no reason for the subjugation team to not have one. 512. Anonymous from Earth. True. 514. Anonymous from Earth. They could just solve this by mobilizing the loved ones that the church has after all. Don't know how many loved ones there are though. 517. Anonymous from Earth. It seems it is on the level of 1 in every 400 people. That goes for loved ones and hated ones. 523. Anonymous from Earth. Honestly, not only the messages, Hikaru seems to want to forget about Earth itself. Even if Nanomichin comes back to life, she would be reviving here and she won't have any relation with Hikaru's life. 528. Anonymous from Earth. Knowing that several millions of people are watching you in their living rooms would be chill-inducing. Can't even beat your meat in peace, that's hell. 530. Anonymous from Earth. Now that I think about it, Alex didn't bring the defensive suit with him. 541. Anonymous from Earth. He brought the Randall knife that his father gave him. Looking closely, I can tell he has it on his person. 548. Anonymous from Earth. Further. Why did you give him a mere knife? 552. Anonymous from Earth. Over there, the ones who hold knives are apparently ones that have become true men. It might be something similar to passing on a Japanese sword that is your family heirloom. 555. Anonymous from Earth. This goes without saying, but aside from people who battle, that aforementioned suit is nothing but heavy clothing. There's even people who have sold it. 568. Anonymous from Earth. If an old man suddenly comes to an unknown world in that suit, it would definitely scare people. 574. Anonymous from Earth. Now that used ones are circulating, there's no doubt it is scaring more people around the world. 579. Anonymous from Earth. Even though it is actually good stuff, things really don't go as people expect. 586. Anonymous from Earth. In the end, money rules over everything. 591. Anonymous from Earth. Rather than bringing something you don't know what effects could cause, just bring origami paper, make them into cranes or something on the road and sell them. That would bring in more money and it wouldn't be as risky. 600. Anonymous from Earth. Even if we suddenly end up living in a foreign country, you can at the very least say you are from Japan. You can explain things with that much. However, in an Isekai transfer, even that is sealed, so the difficulty is high. The only thing you can rely on is money and power. 608. Anonymous from Earth. It seems the young ones had high initial points, but what was the reason for that? 619. Anonymous from Earth. In the world of humans, even if you are somewhat strong in terms of physical strength or spirit energy, that's just one facet of the power of humans after all. And Hikaru has unexpectedly high human power. 630. Anonymous from Earth. The fact that he can speak with others already makes him a different breed from us. 637. Anonymous from Earth. He is not an introvert, but I can't really call him an extrovert. 645. Anonymous from Earth. I think an actual otaku with social anxiety would just instantly die once they get into the parallel world. 650. Anonymous from Earth. There were actual hundreds of people who died almost as soon as they got there after all. 655. Anonymous from Earth. The random transfer is at fault. The damn random transfer. 659. Anonymous from Earth. There's the one that began working in a bread store at the Isekai. It is the slow life I would like. 667. Anonymous from Earth. Work at an actual bakery here. There's not much difference, dude. 671. Anonymous from Earth. Don't wanna. I want that feeling of creating staple food for the people in the town. 675. Anonymous from Earth. At any rate, Alex really lacks any sense of danger. The chosen are like the children of God, or like the messengers of God. One mistake and you could get captured by an influential person. 677. Anonymous from Earth. If it is a bad powerful person you could get bad treatment and even get imprisoned. Chosen are in the end rootless grass, so as long as you give them food and water, you would have them listening to you. 687. Anonymous from Earth. Even if they look after them for 10 years, I would say getting a high heel scroll in return wouldn't be a bad trade. 695. Anonymous from Earth. The Japanese Ryokochan did something like let us Chosen gather tilde in the neighborhood. The Chosen clan would be pretty good publicity and it sounds strong. The problem is that messages are the intermediary, so there's almost no one who believes it. 703. Anonymous from Earth. The one where I Kakin went that sounds interesting tilde and ended it with that ha. Yoko-chan is a proactive extrovert but she is a bit of an annoying type. 709. Anonymous from Earth. The one where her extrovert comrades are sending annoying messages, right? The ones that are the most famous when it comes to the messages that piss off Jinechan. 721. Anonymous from Earth. Jinechan always snaps at the comments and yet for some reason she checks them all out properly. 725. Anonymous from Earth. Messages can't be sent without strong emotions, so the people that want to tell her something with light feelings would get flicked away. But when you get to the class of Jean, the denominator is on a whole other level. 735. Anonymous from Earth. Speaking of influential people, there's the youth drug. Well, the toughest one would be to become an influential person yourself though. 741. Anonymous from Earth. The problem is whether there's a Chosen with the talent enough to manage that though. 744. Anonymous from Earth. The Dark Twins have taken a country though. 758. Anonymous from Earth. No matter how broken the charm skill is, actually taking a country requires an abnormal degree of action and courage. Especially Lydia, she has the same face but she doesn't have any powers. 768. Anonymous from Earth. Even if you have charm, it is incredible how you can actually make them obey you and kill. 772. Anonymous from Earth. It is different from the peace and Japan. 777. Anonymous from Earth. Bring the talk of Nadia and Lydia to their own exclusive board. 780. Anonymous from Earth. At any rate, it is great that we managed to see a top explorer party. If Hikaru continues this momentum for the 3RD4TH and 5th floor, he will definitely get first place. 784. Anonymous from Earth. Moab Hazen is cute. 785. Anonymous from Earth. Garnet's armor is way too beautiful. 790. Anonymous from Earth. Is the weapon of Mopalesenpai mithril? 800. Anonymous from Earth. Most likely mithril. Mithril is a metal that isn't suitable for weapons, but it is good for lynxes that don't have the physical strength. It is a thrusting sword, so it is probably like the stinger of Dragon Quest. 804. Anonymous from Earth. Spirit abilities really are something you save. The higher-ranked parties don't use a single one in something like the 3rd floor. 813. Anonymous from Earth. Even in games, if there's no means to recover your MP, you would save it. 819. Anonymous from Earth. It is the same as in games. Is an incredibly cheap comment, but it really is like in games. 822. Anonymous from Earth. A party with only girls is so florid it is nice. 828. Anonymous from Earth. Stop the comments that reek of old man. 836. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru is indeed strong, but this really is a world where you speak with your physical strength. Compared to warriors of high-ranked parties, Hikaru is still a child. 843. Anonymous from Earth. Their levels are different after all. He really can't help it when it comes to physical strength. 857. Anonymous from Earth. Is Refria aiming to be something like that red-haired leader? Is that a world where you can become that strong even without the god cheats? 864. Anonymous from Earth. I thought Jinechan had already thrown away her humanity, but there was an even higher form of that. 872. Anonymous from Earth. Jean hasn't increased her tier that much yet, so we managed to learn that she is still relying on her cheats. 878. Anonymous from Earth. I can understand the reason why the weapons of high-ranked adventurers gradually get bigger and heavier. 888. Anonymous from Earth. It goes the same for the explorers in Alimari, greater than their weapons are big. 889. Anonymous from Earth gives perspective to Alex asking, are you gonna be okay with just that equipment? 898. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru. It is okay, no problems. 904. Anonymous from Earth. There's nothing but problems. 909. Anonymous from Earth. Beautiful female party. I am looking forward to the fan art. Grin. 916. Anonymous from Earth. I also want to try drawing the Crimson Vials. 919. Anonymous from Earth. There's no copyright, so we can draw as we please. 926. Anonymous from Earth. Well, it is to the point where there's already animes in production with The Chosen as the theme. 927. Anonymous from Earth. The bow girl from the Crimson Vials is cute. 933. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru didn't ask for the name of that archer, so we don't know at all what her character traits are. She didn't say a single word. She was looking at Hikaru a whole ton though. 942. Anonymous from Earth. One more for the heroine race. 947. Anonymous from Earth. Even Rufuya-sama is having a hard time here, so I don't think a person that just came out would be able to compete at all. 949. Anonymous from Earth. She might be someone who wants to propagate the greatness of bows. 950. Anonymous from Earth. There's an incredibly low amount of archers in the dungeon. 952. Anonymous from Earth. Using bow and arrow in an enclosed space is insanity. 957. Anonymous from Earth. Can't really call it an enclosed space though. 961. Anonymous from Earth. The third floor has mist covering the place and the fourth floor is a cave. You would only be shining from the fifth floor on. That's said to be a floor where you go down a pit. 967. Anonymous from Earth. It has been explained countless times in the streams of Alex, but harpies and wyverns apparently show up in the fifth floor. You need an archer. 969. Anonymous from Earth. The sixth floor has the name Plains, so it sounds like they could do some work there too. In that case, archers can only do well in high-ranked parties that go to the fifth floor and lower. 972. Anonymous from Earth. By the way, the Alice Mary's dungeon is an actual dungeon that's an enclosed space until the seventh floor, so there's almost no archers. 976. Anonymous from Earth. Moapazen having become an official explorer means that she can use spirit abilities, right? Scout battle spirit abilities. She has all three of them. 979. Anonymous from Earth. She also has her legs, CUTE, as well. 981. Anonymous from Earth. But power is everything for explorers. 982. Anonymous from Earth. Man, talk more about Hikaru. 986. Anonymous from Earth. But Hikaru and Rufuya have already fallen asleep while they were all down. 990. Anonymous from Earth. Well, it can't be helped, as long as they get their wits together and do their best in the Demon Lord subjugation. 999. Anonymous from Earth. I just hope Rufuya doesn't do anything reckless in her desperation. Chapter 098-099, Call and the Demonic Incarnation appears. Ming.ro.ming.up. Wake up. I had fallen asleep at some point in time. I was woken up by the voice of someone. Or at least that's how it is supposed to be, but it seems like Rufuya, who was sleeping by my side, is still asleep. Coming. A scary one is coming. Run, run, run. The scary one is really close. This time around, I heard it clearly. Also, on the lower floor, From the depths of the bottomless swamp of darkness, I could feel something that was like a mass of spirit energy. Rufria, wake up. It is the Demon Lord. Hikaru. What? I fell asleep? Rufria. It is okay, just get ready. We are going up for now. It would be impossible to fight here. Hikaru. Oh, okay. Rufria. I pack up the blanket into the shadow storage, and wear my overcoat. I unsheath my short sword, make preparations for battle as we head up to the third floor. Alex and his party were sleeping with a campfire in the middle in front of the stairs. It seems like one is awake to serve as a watch. If I remember correctly, Joe Jordan, I think. Joe Jordan. The Demon Lord has come. Wake up everyone. We are facing it here. Hikaru. Demon Lord? Joe Jordan. Joe Jordan falls practically into panic at the sudden development. He hurriedly stood up, and at that moment, he ended up kicking the hunting horn that is blown for the moment when the Demon Lord is found that was by his side. The hunting horn rolled with good momentum, and it unluckily went in the direction of the stairs. Seriously? Hikaru. The hunting horn made con echoing sounds as it disappeared into the darkness of the lower floor. Why, you idiot! What are you doing? Hikaru. Sorry. That's cause you suddenly said the Demon Lord appeared. Joe Jordan. Monsters appear suddenly. Hikaru. Joe Jordan is most likely not a warrior but specialized solely as a spirit user, judging from the color of his hair. Maybe he is a water spirit user. What's the matter? Rufria, San. Alex. Crabble. The Demon Lord is close approaching, so get ready at once. Hikaru. Alex and Crabble have woken up as well, but it doesn't seem like they have understood the situation yet. What should we do, Hikaru? Wouldn't it be better to go down and search for the hunting horn? Rufria. No, I don't think we will make it in time anymore. Hikaru. I can feel an enormous pressure approaching from the lower floor. I don't have the courage at all to go down. I don't even want to imagine facing a Demon Lord in a place with bad footing. What do we do? This is all because I kicked the hunting horn. Joe Jordan. Joe Jordan moves around restlessly. We have to call people regardless. The party of Alex, please run to the stairs leading to the second floor and get a hunting horn. Hikaru. The third floor has dense mist, so they won't be able to find other parties so easily. However, they can encounter monsters. If they do, they have no choice but to fight. It would be impossible for Joe Jordan to get to the entrance of the third floor alone. Even Rufria would have a hard time achieving that. The only ones with a chance would be me and Alex who are chosen. And so, if Alex is leaving, it would be better for the whole party to go as well. I don't know the fighting style of Crabble and Joe Jordan, so there wouldn't be any coordination. Hikaru. More importantly. Rufria. Rufria suddenly stuck her body to mine and whispered to my ear. Alex and his party made dubious expressions. What's the matter? Hikaru. Keep it down. You are a loved one, so you might be able to lead Demon Lord. How about pulling it to the entrance of the third floor rather than pushing ourselves into a fight here? Rufria. I see. Hikaru. The problem is the distance, but it is said that the detection range of great spirits for loved ones is around 100 meters. If the Demon Lord is around the same range, then it might chase after me if it senses me. If it is 100 meters, it is a distance that I can barely manage to catch with my eye in this floor. Change of plans. Let's all move to the third floor. Rufria and I will take the rear, so you guys defeat the monsters that show up please as fast as possible. Hikaru. Got it. By the way, Hikaru, did you see the Demon Lord? What was it like? Alex. I still haven't seen it. If it had approached the point of being visible, we would already be fighting. Hikaru. I stare at the stairs leading to the lower floor. Dark sense. Hikaru. I don't know what the Demon Lord is like, so I use dark sense. The range of this ability is around 100 meters. Not there, Hikaru. but the pressure has increased further than before. It has come. Run, run. Scary, you are going to be eaten. The spirits were whispering to me from far away, or from right by my ear. I also want to run away just as those voices say. But I can't run away here. I have to catch the Demon Lord on camera in order to get first place and revive Nanami. Alex, do you know the shortest route to the entrance? Hikaru, yeah. Leave it to me. I properly have it in my head. Alex, how many points left? Hikaru, sorry. I used them as I got them and I barely have any crystals left. Alex, figures. Hikaru, I only have 48 crystals, so 1 point and a little left over. Well, if worst comes to worst, I can use 1 point to buy a barrier stone. Would it be better to buy it beforehand? It has come. I heard a specially loud voice, and I turned my head towards the stairs. Fire? Hikaru. Inside the darkness leading to the 4th floor, I could faintly see a flame dancing like a snake. That light was practically only a small spot at the beginning, but it appeared as if a flower bloomed and disappeared continuously, and the size gradually increased. The distance of the flame was slowly decreasing, and then, the moment I saw the contours of that something that was releasing the fire, cold sweat gushed out from my back. It is here. Run. Hikaru. There's most likely already 100 meters between us. Anyways, we have to regroup with the other explorers. There's 3 groups of 3 parties each that are searching for the Demon Lord on this floor. Turning that around, it means that you can't deal with a Demon Lord unless you have that many people. They said the latter half were formed mainly of silver rank parties. We have to let them know at once with the hunting horn to call the first half strong parties here or things are gonna get bad. Hikaru, it is regrettable that the hunting horn was lost, but there's no point in lamenting it now. The legs of silver rank explorers are fast. We are talking about people who have had their bodies boosted by the rise in tier after all. The instant I began running in order to escape, boom, a deafening sound was made and swirling fire spouted out from the stairs, and I ended up looking back reflexively. I had some distance from it, so it didn't hit me directly, but I ended up completely making eye contact with the abnormal being that came out after the fire. This is the Demon Lord. Hikaru. Chapter 099. Viscount rank and chaotic increase. It was fear-taken form. By just seeing its figure, my back froze, and my legs trembled. A monster that is superior in a whole other realm than the Garden Panther and the Mantis, a Demon Lord, drool dripping to the ground with vicious fangs peeking out from that wolf's head. A long and thick snake tail that is moving freely as if it had a mind of its own. Thick and powerful feline limbs that make me think are from a beast of prey. On top of that, every time its groans were resonating, fire would spew out. It is as big as a garden panther, and it has an overall length of 5 meters. I can't even imagine me defeating it with the offensive means I have. Phantom Warrior. Summon. Night Bug. I activated 2 abilities and they went to stop the Demon Lord. I quickly bring out the Lizardman Spirit Stone from the shadow storage. Create Undead. There's a slight time lag from the time the ability is used until the time the stone becomes an undead. The Demon Lord was staring straight at me, so I really am being targeted as a loved one. It doesn't seem like it is interested in Rafria who is close by. Maybe because it just came up to the 3rd floor. It didn't attack us immediately, and it was observing us while growling. Or maybe it is being wary about the light of Create Undead. But loved one, will darkness fog work? Hikaru. What's important is whether to fight the Demon Lord or keep it distracted. Whichever it is, we have to try and see first. Darkness fog. Hikaru. The thick darkness that gushed out as if oozing from the air dyed the white misty world into black. I moved in that darkness without making a sound. How's that, Hikaru? The Demon Lord moved back slightly at the sudden darkness, directed its face to the left and the right, making clear gestures of searching for me. All right. Looks like it is working, Hikaru. I don't know what the demon lords and great spirits detect from the loved ones. It might be the smell, maybe the appearance. But what I think is the most plausible possibility is spirit energy. In that case, spirit abilities which are made up from that spirit energy should serve as a jamming of sorts. Whichever the case, if darkness fog is doing its work, that's fine. If only I could incapacitate it inside the fog, I wouldn't have any complaints, but I am sure it won't be so easy. While all of that was happening, the Phantom Warrior came close to the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord at least took a battle stance against the Phantom Warrior that was making noise while advancing, and directed its attention there. The moment the Lizardman had taken form, I immediately ordered it. Fight. Focus on defense, and fight in a way so that you can buy as much time and last as long as possible. Hikaru, this Lizardman undead has a shield. It shouldn't be defeated instantly. Shadow bind. Hikaru. After giving that order, I bind the Demon Lord and run full speed. The effect of the bind will only serve as consolation, but it is better than not doing anything. Rufria, who ran off, first looked back as if worried. I could hear the sound of clashing from the back. The battle of the Lizardman and the Demon Lord must have begun. I operate the status board while running and tap the monster appraisal. It uses one crystal in possession. Marchosias, Demon Lord. A Demon Lord that is the head of a wolf, the limbs of a lion, and the tail of a snake. It breathes out fire, and can use chaotic abilities even if it is low grade. Your average explorer can't hope to oppose it. A Demon Lord is a special monster born solely from chaotic spirit energy, and it is the natural enemy of humanity which controls chaotic spirit abilities. Demonic abilities. Demon Lords are born at a certain rate when it reaches a threshold. If the density of the demonic swirls is properly managed, the Demon Lord born won't be that strong. It can move between floors, and there's even times when it will come out from the dungeon. A Demon Lord that has come out to the outside will be eliminated by a great spirit, but if the Demon Lord is strong, there's even cases where the great spirit would lose. In those cases, that land would be ruled by chaos, and would turn into hell. The appraised target is a Viscount class Demon Lord. The Spirit Stone drop rate is 100% chaotic. Long. Hikaru. But I understand now after skimming through it. There's no doubt that's the Demon Lord, and it seems like the Demon Lord uses something called chaotic abilities. That it uses unknown abilities means that there's no knowing what it will do. I must be careful. When I looked back, I saw the Lizardman perishing by the fangs of Marchosias. To think it would be defeated so easily in just a few tens of seconds. Even if I already expected this, it is basically in the pretty bad estimations I had. I should adjust the information I have of a Demon Lord's power. It is at a barely visible distance. Thanks to the undead, we have bought around 100 meters. Even so, the third floor is big. There should be around 1 kilometer till the stairs up. 900 meters remaining. Can we somehow escape? Hikaru. Something strange. Rufria. When I look back, Marchosias made what could be taken as a growl or a cry, took a step as if grabbing the ground, and placed strength on its limbs, as if it were about to give birth to something. The spirit energy is rising. What's going on? Hikaru. I ended up stopping unconsciously. It is hard to judge whether I should run or observe, but I couldn't take my eyes off it. At the center of the swirling spirit energy, I could certainly feel the increase in density. Something clicked in me. Rufria. You said something about something happening when the Demon Lords went up floors, right? Hikaru. Yeah, that's right. When Demon Lords go up a floor, they get one step stronger. If I remember correctly, they obtain one more chaotic nature. Rufria. The moment Rufria said that, from the back of Marchosias, jet black wings came out from its back with a bone-chilling sound. Seriously? Hikaru. Monsters get stronger the more mixed they are. That's apparently common sense in this world. Then, how strong is that Demon Lord? Wolf head, lion body, snake tail, and wings of a stellar sea eagle. Gudju. Its red eyes were looking straight at me and Rufria. But the demon lord didn't rush immediately towards us, and repeatedly flapped its newly grown wings as if confirming their state. Hikaru, is it intending to fly? Rufria, most likely. Damn it, we have no preparations for flying enemies. Anyways, let's run. Hikaru, the last time I looked back at it was at the moment when the demon lord spread its big wings and rose to the air. Even Rufria was agitated by this. Chapter 100 to 101, Joint Struggle and Chaotic Abilities. We are going to get as much distance as possible. Hikaru, okay. Rufria, the third floor is a garden. We have come here countless times already, and I have a decently good sense of direction, so I know the route leading to the stairs, but this place is made in a way to make you get lost. In other words, the way to the stairs is by no means a straight line. There's the need to make turns a lot of times on our way. If it were to come at us from overhead in a straight line, it would catch up to us in an instant. Wait, there was this too. Hikaru. I wanted to run to the stairs of the second floor in one go, but Alex and his party are fighting monsters. I will assist too. Rufria. Please do. Hikaru. With Rufria entering the fray, the treant was defeated pretty quickly, but the several tens of seconds lost here are painful. Rufria. Alex, it is going to catch up soon. Be careful above. Hikaru. The straying big mist garden is always covered in a dense mist, and even if a monster is flying above, it is hard to catch sight of them. Moreover, the mist at the ceiling is denser. The demon lord should be really close. Dark sense. Hikaru. A perception wave runs through the mist and detects the location of the demon lord. It really is aiming for me. 50-meter distance. Darkness fog. Shade shift. Hikaru. I cover my body with darkness at the highest capacity, and create a clone of myself with shade shift in order to increase my evasion rate as much as possible. Even one hit of the demon lord would be the end of me. We are currently 5 people. If we see it as one party, it shouldn't be that bad of a fighting force. But I don't know how to fight against a monster that flies. My only means of attack is the night bug. Marchosius showed up from the air, flapped its wings while raising a growl, but didn't show signs of coming down. The next move. Dispel. The voice coming from the demon lord resonated directly in my mind. Maybe because of the effects of that, my darkness fog and shade shifted their spirit energy diminished into glittery particles and disappeared. Damn it. This is a chaotic ability. Hikaru. Hikaru. Hide behind me. Rufria. Rufria takes a stance with her giant sword and stands in a way as if protecting me. Marchosius flies around 20 meters above us, and seems to be observing us. We don't have any effective attack means for that distance. Summon. Night bug. Hikaru. I summon dark rhinoceros beetles that should at least serve to annoy it. The demon lord barely paid any heed to the insects flying around. As I thought, abilities that deal low sustained damage are not effective against demon lords. We watched the movements of the demon lord while backing off bit by bit, heading towards the exit. Alex and his party. Do you guys have any attacks that can shoot it down? Be it spirit abilities or anything. Hikaru. At that distance, it would be rough. I can only use till the third ability, and Crabble is earth, so it would be impossible in midair. Also, Jordan is water. Alex. I see. Thanks. I have darkness and Rufria is light. We both don't have effective long-range attacks. Hikaru. In that case, we can't do anything until it comes down. I can't make Shadowbind appear in midair either. Marchosius flies around while making a displeasing flapping noise. It would growl every now and then. There's no doubt it is finding the appropriate timing to attack. Retreating while directing our attention to the movements of the demon lord was reducing our progress to a crawl. However, we can't just expect to luckily encounter other explorers. It is regrettable that the hunting horn dropped. If we had pushed ourselves there to get it back, this might have been a different development, but there's no point brooding over that now. Hikaru, be careful. Rufria lets out a voice of urgency. When I turned my gaze, the flying demon lord opened its big mouth and a flame of red and white was forming in its mouth. It is going to spit out fire. Hikaru, warning them was all I could do. Bright red fire covers my whole vision with a terrifying sound. It is not a speed that I can avoid the moment I see it. The next instant I was prepared for death. Water screen. Joe Jordan. The ability that Joe Jordan casted created a sudden water wall, and it blocks the fire. The sizzling sounds of fire being evaporated by water was reverberating. It was blocking the fire breath of the demon lord almost perfectly. Joe Jordan may look feeble, but it seems like he is quite the skilled spirit user. Thanks for the save. Hikaru. Not yet. It is coming. Marchosius flapped its wings with great force once, glided in the air, and began charging our way. Rufria. Hikaru. Yes. Rufria. It is hard to use darkness fog in an offensive manner against an enemy that's charging from above, but if it is with the means of Rufria, light. Rufria. A dazzling sphere appeared onto the opponent, rushing straight as if it were trying to crash onto it, and it burned the eyes of the demon lord. The demon lord that was blinded on all fronts falls onto the flower bed of the garden while destroying it flashily, sliding on the ground. This is the chance of our lifetime. Right now. Press on. Hikaru. Yeah. Rufria, Alex, and Crabble rush the demon lord. Ooh, take this. Alex. The spear of Alex lunges towards the demon lord, and in that instant, a voice once again resonates in my head. Fear. An indescribable wave was emitted from the demon lord, and we, who were leaning forward, had eaten it all defenselessly. Something pierced through my whole body. What's this? Hikaru. The demon lord in front of me suddenly felt overwhelmingly scary. My knees trembled, and strength left my whole body from the fear. Rufria, Alex, Crabble, and Joe Jordan, they all fell on their knees and were in a state where they couldn't attack at all. Fear. So a chaotic ability that instills fear. Damn it, move. I'm telling you to move. Alex. Even though it was our chance. Rufria. Doesn't seem like they can move either. The fear ability that shows its effects in its surroundings. It isn't just for show that it is called a demon lord. This is incredibly bad. The word wipe surfaced in my mind. Darkness fog. Bind. Hikaru. I squeezed out all the strength I could, and covered everyone into the darkness including the demon lord. I control the movements of the demon lord with shadow bind. I must buy as much time as possible. Everyone fall back for now. Hikaru. I control the darkness fog and secure a path of retreat for everyone. Fortunately, Marchosius doesn't have night vision, so it spun around in place, and it is simply wary of its surroundings. The effect of the ability must have dissipated a bit because of the time. I could feel some strength in my legs now. Alex. You can hear me, right? Hikaru. Yeah, I can hear you. What was that just now? Alex. It must be a chaotic ability that binds the heart with fear. Anyways, I will keep it distracted here. You guys go call for help. We will be wiped out if we deal with it with just us. Hikaru. Are you going to be okay, Hikaru? To fight it with only you two is just. Alex. We will manage somehow. Counting on you. Hikaru. Got it. Don't die. Alex. Alex and his party run off. It is already impossible to run with them. Someone has to keep it distracted. If we were to get attacked from behind, no one would be left. There's no choice but to have them bring help here. Can't run away from the demon lord. Hikaru. Chapter 101, Reckless Assault and Counterattack. Even so, it is not like everything is bad. This is a big monster, but it is only one, and most of all, dark spirit abilities work on it. Rufria. Darkness works on this guy. The strategy we always use will work on it. Counting on you. Hikaru. Okay. Rufria. The ears of the Demon Lord are twitching. It must be trying to pinpoint the voices. Those red eyes that felt as if they could see through even the darkness were glaring powerfully, and even if hidden in the darkness, I can't erase the instinctive fear I have. But now that it has come to this, I have no choice but to do it. Aim for the moment when it uses Dispel to erase my ability. Hikaru, I want to buy as much time as possible, so there's no need to undo the darkness fog myself and attack it ourselves. The Demon Lord growled and spit out fire, but I have casted darkness fog at its highest output. Blind attacks like that at that distance won't be hitting us. Also, with just the mere light the fire produces, the darkness of darkness fog won't be cleared. The Demon Lord runs around blindly to get out from the darkness. If it gets out from the darkness, there's the chance that it would target Rafria, who is alone. Shadow Bind, Phantom Warrior, Summon, Night Bug. I used abilities consecutively. Inside the darkness, even the attacks of the night bugs can serve extremely well as distraction. And with the Phantom Warrior that makes loud noises, there's an even lower chance that it can catch our location by using sounds. The battle between the Demon Lord that wants to attack inside the darkness, and me who wants to buy time by not letting it out of the darkness continued. Dispel. The Demon Lord finally casted that ability. Judging from how it didn't use it immediately, it probably means that the Demon Lord isn't that good at abilities. The spirit energy of the darkness, the Phantom Warrior, and the dark tentacles were diminished and erased. That was the expected flow of events. The next instant, light. Rafria. A dazzling sphere was created right in the face of the Demon Lord, and almost at the same time, Rafria swung her greatsword with strength enough as if to cut off its head. Zuban. Such a fierce sound was made, and red blood flies. Hard. Rafria. Gorua. It was an attack that carried all her weight, and yet, it was stopped by its bristles and hard skin, and it didn't go as far as severing the body of the Demon Lord. Even so, the attack did hit. The combo of darkness and light really is simple yet strong. It works plenty well against a Demon Lord. Shadow Bind. Hikaru. The dark tentacles bind the limbs of the Demon Lord and impede it from acting. And a heated combo was dealt by Rafria right at that moment, as if she had been waiting for that. Rafria. The drawn blade was swung continuously as if dancing, dealing definite damage onto the Demon Lord. However, maybe it was being blocked by some invisible wall, or it might be because it is deftly avoiding any fatal hit. Those attacks that would have long killed your average monster were failing to do so here. It really won't be as easy. Is its inherent defense high? Even though it is getting direct hits from Rafria. Hikaru. I use the valuable time Rafria is buying here to exchange 30 crystals for 1 point, and buy a barrier stone with that point. I have judged that this will be necessary for refuge in the case there's nothing we can do. The Demon Lord is faltering from the flowing attacks that continue on, but it will eventually regain its posture. Rafria, you are overstepping. Fall back for now. Attacking it from the front isn't working much. Hikaru. No, I can still do this. Rafria. She ignored my order and continued attacking. No matter how excellent swordplay she has, attacks from the front can't help but end up turning monotonous. The Demon Lord should have more power and faster decision-making than us. It definitely will eventually counterattack. We have to fight with a hit-and-run strategy. We are dealing with an opponent that defeated a lizardman undead in just a few seconds, and the lizardman and Rafria are most likely around the same strength. Rafria, back out. Hikaru. Not yet. With this. Rafria. You are being reckless. Damn it. Hikaru. A barrage of attacks that carried all her power. It certainly did land on its back, but even with that, it only managed to damage the hard fur of the Demon Lord slightly. We really have to aim for the spirit vein center. If it were the axe of the captain from the Crimson Vials, it could deal fatal damage, but Rafria still hasn't reached that tier yet. Rufria and the Demon Lord are moving at fast speeds while continuing their exchange of blows. It will be difficult to use darkness fog like this. Rufria must have taken this situation as a chance to one-sidedly attack it, but the eyesight of the Demon Lord has already recovered, and it has recognized Rufria as a threat. That's how I see it. Against the Demon Lord, there's not much difference between me and Rufria. One can easily tell that it is not an opponent that can be fought 1 versus 1. Normally, we would use darkness fog for each hit, buy time, and accumulate the damage steadily. Or more like, that's how we have always been doing. Until now, Rufria and I have matched our timing countless times, and have defeated hundreds of monsters. Why is Rufria suddenly being so reckless here? Is she worked up because she is going against a Demon Lord? Or maybe something bothered her after facing the Demon Lord? Then, I should at least provide assistance. Phantom Warrior Hikaru. By having a Phantom Warrior head from the opposite side, I managed to divert its attention slightly, but it doesn't look like it had much effect. I want to use Shadow Bind, but the previous bind's effects are not completely gone yet. I can't cast the ability again until the effect of the previous one runs out. I am going to defeat it. I must be the one to defeat it. Rufria. Rufria shouts this within her sword dance that doesn't end. I don't understand why Rufria is saying that. We should just buy time while reinforcements come. I clearly told her that. Guawu. Marchosias, who had seen through the sword of Rufria, did a backstep, making the attack miss. Just like that, it changed the energy of that backstep for power into its hind legs, and attacks Rufria with a speed unimaginable from that big body. A rush similar to a blind attack. It swung its sharp claws like those of a feline beast, crossing attacks with Rufria at high speed. Kaiawa. Rufria. Hikaru. It seems like she managed to avoid a direct hit by spinning her body, but even with that, the impact wasn't completely killed, and she was sent flying onto a hedge. I am okay. More importantly, the Demon Lord, Rufria. Leave it to me. Darkness fog. Hikaru. I cast darkness fog and cover both me and Rufria, blocking the sight of the Demon Lord. The pitch black darkness ruled the area, and with this, we have managed to buy a bit more time. Phantom Warrior. Shadow Bind. Summon. Night Bug. I somehow managed to restrain the movements of the Demon Lord, and I ran to the side of Rufria. Are you okay? Any wounds? Why were you so reckless? Hikaru. I am okay. It was just a scratch. More importantly, we have to continue the offensive. Even though it was going so well, I am the one that must defeat it. Rufria. The eyes of Rufria shone fiercely, and she was staring straight at the place where the Demon Lord was, even through the darkness, as if that were her purpose in life. I will stand up. It will soon be using Dispel again, and when that happens... Rufria tried to stand up inside the darkness, but just like that, she fell as if she lost support. Her face was shocked as if she herself didn't understand what happened. Oi! Hikaru. At that moment, I finally noticed red blood was coming out from the thigh of Rufria that had been cleanly gouged out. More than half of her left leg was gone. She didn't manage to avoid the attack of the Demon Lord. The blood was dyeing the ground dark red soundlessly. Chapter 102. For the sake of not losing anything again and for the sake of not making the same mistake again. That's strange. Maybe it is because it is dark. I tripped. Ahaha. Rufria. Hikaru. We will be able to defeat it with only us. It would be a lie to say that thought didn't cross my mind once. I saw it when I opened the status board to exchange for the barrier stone, but the viewers had increased explosively, and had become 1.6 billion. Alex and I had encountered the Demon Lord at the same time. This is most likely the current hottest stream among the chosen currently. The viewer count race is decided by the total viewership of the 2 weeks. My viewership in the first half was low, so I had to turn it around heavily in the second half or I won't be able to get first place. And now, I managed to get into a battle with the Demon Lord as planned, and increase my viewership greatly by this. This is the moment that will define my victory or defeat. There was probably a part of me thinking like that inside my heart. I can revive Nanami. I can save her. I might be able to save myself with that too. Those feelings of mine unconsciously leaked out, and that might have made her push herself. Marchosius was growling, searching for me or maybe Rufria inside the darkness. How much was the damage Rufria dealt, I wonder? I can see slight bleeding, but I don't think it is dealt that big of damage. I hold up the collapsed Rufria from the back, and break the barrier stone I bought just a few moments ago. A half-transparent film spreads with me as the center in an instant. Hikaru? Are you there? For some reason, my leg hurts. What's going on? It is so dark. I can't see where my potion is. Rufria. Sorry, I will brighten it up at once. Hikaru. I undo darkness fog. Rufria looked at me and made a relieved expression, but her already white face was whiter than usual. Rufria groaning in a pool of blood overlapped with my last sight of Nanami, and my heart was beating to a noisy degree. Even though I myself am not injured, my whole body was trembling as if it were paralyzed, and strength was leaving me. I took out all the potions I had in my shadow storage and used them on the wound, but it simply stopped the bleeding temporarily, and there was barely any point. Profuse hemorrhage. Clearly a fatal wound. My head understands this, and yet, the sight of the blood-stained groaning Rufria was taking away my composure. I hadn't properly taken into account the possibility of a situation like this. I was naive. I have been thinking about how it was okay for me to be hurt. I had gotten conceited. I managed to get all the way here without dying, so I was underestimating this, thinking that it would work out somehow. I was fine even when diving into the 3rd floor alone. Even when diving into the 4th floor, I was fine. That's why it would work out somehow with the Demon Lord too. I might have come to that conclusion unconsciously. More importantly, I can become number 1 if I encounter the Demon Lord. I ended up choosing that without even being properly aware of the risks. I didn't think of the risk of waiting in the stairs of the 4th floor. I didn't think of the risk of there being only the two of us. I didn't even see the obvious reality that I myself am weak. Blood drained from my whole body. This is the result I invited with my own naivety, with my trembling hand that didn't even feel like my own. I brought out a robe from the shadow storage, and tied it tightly around the thigh of Rufria to stop the bleeding. I must stop the bleeding first and foremost or we won't be going anywhere. Rufria, why did you do something that reckless? There's no need for us to defeat that, so there was no need to push it. We just had to think about the time. Hikaru. I speak to her with feigned composure in order to not bring any distress to her. The rope used to stop the bleeding seemed like it barely worked, but it is still a situation where the conclusion approaches. Should I wait for someone with healing abilities to come? No, there's no time for that. Didn't you say so, Hikaru, that this is for the sake of bringing back your childhood friend, that you had to stand out to become the number 1? Rufria. That's true, but there's no need to push yourself for that. It would be for nothing if you die. Hikaru. But if you become first. You might have said it was thanks to me that you got first. And maybe you would let me stay by your side from here on. I am an idiot, so. I just don't know. But if you became number 1. You said you would do anything. I told you. Rufria. It was almost hazy rambling. Rufria was repeating those words over and over. I cornered her. I was in my own bubble with my own circumstances, and I didn't properly think about her feelings. I even neglected to tell her that I would be able to reach what I wished for if I just worked a bit harder myself. The one who is an idiot. Is me. Hikaru. If I could be by your side. I didn't need anything more. If I defeated the Demon Lord. You can be number 1, right? When that happened. I thought for sure you would love me back. Be together forever. That apostrophe s. The only thing I could think of. Rufria. I don't know what would be the right response here. Even if I were to explain to her that we are being watched, or about viewership, there's no way that Rufria would have understood being born in a world without even TVs. Even though I understood that. In her lacking understanding of this, the answer she came up with was to answer my expectations even more than ever before. If she were to show how extremely useful she is as an essential direct attack member, she thought my feelings would change. Just you wait. This is but a scratch. You will be okay. Hikaru. Maybe because it was a wound she got while she had the adrenaline from the battle. It seems like she at least doesn't feel the pain. No, she already might be in a state where she can't feel pain. I can't really tell between those two. The gaze of Rufria is hazy, and I can't tell if she is looking here or isn't seeing anything at all. It was flickering feebly to the point that it made me uneasy. When the light would go out, she was repeating over and over as if in a delirium, if he gets first place. And it stabbed at my heart. No matter how beautifully I decorate it, I used her in order to get first place. And this is the result. The red blood is the same as the one Nanami spilled. Even if it is a parallel world, it is not like people bleed blue, and it is not odorless like in games. The red of the blood that was sticking on my hand, her pale smiling face, rough and faint breathing, intense heartbeat. They were all increasing the contrast of the world and telling me that this is reality. That what's here is everything. What am I doing, Hikaru? I hid in the darkness to protect my heart, but my heart was still left behind on Earth. The me in this world was something else aside from myself, and the real me must have been watching from above somewhere this whole time. Somewhere in me, I thought that this is not reality. That this isn't happening. That's why I could do any reckless thing. I thought it was fine to even die. The world I was spectating from above was unrealistic, and my only reality was that Nanami died. That's why I wasn't looking at it straight. At this world, at this reality in front of me, at this girl who saved me countless times, and even at myself. It is okay, Rufria. I will heal you at once. Just wait. Hikaru. Oh, okay. I am fine. Rufria. There's no way you are fine. I don't know if this is just her acting tough, or if she has always been acting tough. I don't understand anything. What's certain right now is that there's no time. The heat that's draining steadily from her, her right leg that looked like it had become an ornament, was practically severed, and it would be impossible to heal it with normal means. With potions or scrolls that can be exchanged with crystals. I held Rufria's body as if hugging her while moving my irritatingly trembling finger to open the status board. I have 0 points. I only have a few dozen crystals. There's no means to heal her wound. Only one. The aiding means that God readied. There's nothing other than that. That was in a slightly deep part of the status board. You can get a maximum of 3 points in advance. The aiding mechanism of God, point loan. Of course, there's demerits. But I chose the 3 points without hesitation. Yes/no. I pushed the yes. When you get points in advance, you won't be able to use anything aside from the points you have gotten in advance until you have paid them back in full. Yes/no. I push yes. When you get a loan in points, it will be taken as you forfeiting from the current campaign. The first viewer count race. Yes/no. That's right. This is the demerit. I have currently gotten all the way to first place in the real-time ranking of the viewer count race. If I push this button, that effort will disappear into nothing. At the same time, it means that I would lose my means to revive Nanami forever. Of course, it is not like I am putting the life of Rufrian on a scale, and yet, I was disgusted with myself for even hesitating for a second there. Hikaru. Where are you? I have failed, right? Run away, Hikaru. If you hadn't saved me back then. I would have died anyways. Rufria mutters as if in a trance with trembling lips. Her eyes had lost their light, and were powerlessly searching for me. I am here. I am right here now. Properly by your side, Rufria. Hikaru. Fufu. You are so weird. Rufria. Sorry, I had you face so much pain because of my mistake. But I will heal you at once. Don't worry. Hikaru. There's white meat peeking from the almost split thigh of Rufria. There's no way the bleeding would stop from a mere rope, and blood was spilling out endlessly, dyeing the ground red. It wouldn't be strange for her to die at any moment from the shock, and if she dies, her body would be lost forever, and she would turn into a stone that doesn't tell any stories. I know. Hikaru. I shout to no one in particular as I press the yes in the status board. And then, I tap the high heel scroll from the item list that costs 3 points. The first place that I could glance at in the viewer count race had changed into forfeit. I made Rufria hold the scroll that had appeared at the same time as that happened. Rufria, open the seal of this by yourself. Now. Hikaru. Hikaru. Where? I can't tell. Rufria. Geez. Like this. You just have to pull the string here. Hikaru. I put my hand on hers while supporting her body with mine from the back. Okay. Like this? Rufria. With her fingers that had mostly lost their strength, she somehow managed to break the seal of the scroll. At that instant, the scroll burned in blue flames, and the body of Rufria was enveloped in gentle light. What? Hikaru. What's this? Rufria. I am glad I made it in time. It is all right now. Hikaru. Her leg that was on the verge of being severed by the fangs or the claws of the demon lord was slowly but surely being restored to its original state. At the same time, the color of her face was returning. I am glad I have used the high heel scroll before. If I hadn't used it before, I might not have been able to act as fast as I did now. Strength left me from the relief, and sweat came flowing out like a waterfall at this point in time. It was close. If the demon lord's attack was a bit deeper, or if the hit had been on her body and not her leg, she wouldn't have survived. After a few minutes, the body of Rufria returned to how it was. Only the pool of blood remaining there was proof that she had received a fatal injury. The demon lord couldn't find us who were inside the barrier, and was repeatedly howling. The voice coming from that big frame probably reaches the whole floor. With that, the other explorers will be able to find it and subjugate it. Or will be able to buy time. Our fight against the demon lord hasn't ended yet. However. No. My battle has ended. Sorry. Nanami. Author note: for information about the point loan, refer to Chapter 26 or 48, Chapter 103, The Last Joint Struggle and the Timbre of the Hunting Horn. A woo. Marchosias howled so loudly it felt as if there was mass in it, opened its wings, and took off into the air. But there's already no need for us to push ourselves. Let's just see it off just like this. If the demon lord could see the inside of the barrier stone just like the great spirits, we could have kept it in place for half a day, but it doesn't seem like we will be having such a nice development here. Hikaru? Rufria. What's the matter? Does it hurt somewhere? You lost that much blood, so maybe you are not feeling well? Hikaru. No. I am fine there. But. Rufria. Your face is slightly red. Is it a side effect of the scroll? Hikaru. The scroll might be an item for exclusive use on Earthlings. Her wounds might have healed without any problems, but this world has an unknown power called spirit energy. It wouldn't be strange for it to have some sort of demerit. I try putting a hand on Rufria's forehead. She doesn't have a fever, but Rufria's eyes were damp, and not only her face, her whole body was turning red. So there really was a side effect. Damn it. What should I do? What to do? Hikaru. Hikaru. I am okay, you know. Just that. I am simply surprised by how close we are. Rufria. Close? Hikaru. Now that she mentions it, I began looking at our current situation objectively. I am still supporting the lying down Rufria from the back as if hugging her. Am I bad? Hikaru. Anne. There's no need to get away so hurriedly. Rufria. You say that. But your wound's really alright? Hikaru. Yeah. I am fine there, but I am sorry. I am an idiot, so I didn't know what to do. And even though I knew that it would be impossible. I couldn't stop. Rufria. She covered her face and rubbed her leg that didn't have a single wound remaining. It is the result of me cornering her. I have no intention of blaming her for that. Of course, it would be troubling if it were to happen twice. But she must have reflected already. And most of all, she must have understood it with her very body. You could say things have gone way too well until now, to the point that it is great it happened in this timing. Hikaru. But. Rufria. No buts. You can easily lose against a strong opponent and be killed. I would say it is good that we have managed to experience such a natural thing. Hikaru. Learning when to withdraw is ultimately important. Push only at the times when we should push, pull back quickly at the times we should pull back. We have no choice but to learn those gambles of battle in actual combat, but going over the threshold and losing is normally something that you can only do once in actual combat. And it would just lead straight to death. Having experienced that and still being alive, this will definitely live on in her even when she becomes a knight in the future. I am originally the type that leaves a big safety margin, but the experience now has made me reconfirm the fearsomeness of monsters, and it will serve as a plus. My adventures with her will come to an end today. In that sense, this losing and almost dying experience is probably the best farewell gift I can give her before we go our separate ways. But I was seriously injured there, right? How did you do it? It seemed like you healed me with that scroll-like thing though. Rufria. I had just the right thing that had healing magic sealed in it, but there's no next time. Hikaru. The high heal scroll's effect is massive, but 3 points isn't something that can be easily obtained. There's no next time in two meanings. My united front with Rufria is not necessary now that the viewer count race has ended. Even so, the effects were incredible. I was prepared to die and all. It feels like it was all a lie. Rufria. Rufria jumped in place and checked her state. Looks like there really are no side effects. Her face is still slightly reddish, but there doesn't seem to be any problems. It is true that you were on the verge of death. So let's just stay here inside the barrier. The Demon Lord has already left somewhere. Hikaru. But Hikaru, you need to defeat the Demon Lord and stand out to become first, right? I am already fine, so let's go. Rufria. No. It is already over. The moment I was about to say that, my mouth shut. There's no way I can tell her the fact that I forfeited. Of course. There's no need for me to be stupidly honest and tell her that I forfeited because I healed her wound. But if I were to tell her that it is over with a timing like this, she will feel that it was her fault that it is over. We are a team. It goes without saying that it is also my fault that she ended up injured. The Demon Lord still hasn't been defeated, and it wouldn't be rare for there to be more injured. Also. I won't be pushing myself anymore. Okay? Hikaru. Can you promise me that? Rufria. I promise. Also there's no way I will be losing now. Hikaru. Rufria placed a hand on her chest and said this powerfully at my question. I am slightly uneasy about this, but I already got on this ship. Let's fight till the end for today only. With the two of us. I have 0 points remaining. I still have some crystals left, but because I did a point loan, I can't use them until I pay back those 3 points. I could have bought potions or something before doing it, but this is basically crying over spilt milk. Well, there's also the part about it being impossible considering the situation. The Demon Lord does dispel. Darkness itself is still effective, so it is not like I am a bad match against it. But our fighting force is plain lacking. Cooperating with other parties is necessary. Rufria and I went out from the barrier. The barrier not only keeps the demon lord away, but also plainly keeps outside threats away, so there's no monsters around. The violent cries of the demon lord resembling shouts were endlessly echoing. Anyways, we are searching for the demon lord. It is flying, so it would be one monumental task to find it. Hikaru, it would be nice if it were to go in the direction of the entrance though. Rufria, it at the very least flew off in that direction, so it should be okay to assume that. Hikaru, while after running towards the entrance, we heard a bugle horn sound from a far location. After that, the roars of explorers. Looks like battle began with the other parties. Hikaru, over there. Rufria, wait a moment, I heard it from over there though. Ah geez, this mist is just dirty. Hikaru, if this floor didn't have dense mist, it would be a floor with a good field of vision, but the vision is bad and the sounds just bounce around. It makes a mess of your sense of direction. Wait, aren't we supposed to tell the location from the horn's phrase? Hikaru, it only sounds like they are randomly going boo-boo on the horn though. Or maybe you can tell with that? Doesn't look like it would help in this case. It seems like they are a party that hasn't properly trained with the hunting horn. Rufria, then there's no point. Hikaru, only a few seriously take the hunting horn short course after all. I actually haven't taken one properly. If you know the phrases, you can pinpoint the location, but I myself am not good at blowing it. Rufria, explorers really are. Hikaru, monsters. Hikaru. Rufria, 2 hobgoblins and 1 troll. I want to chase after the demon lord, but it is hard to ignore the monsters in this mist dungeon. There's no choice but to defeat them before advancing. Rufria, I leave the goblins to you. Hikaru, with Rufria almost dying and having given up on resurrecting Nanami, I have finally begun perceiving this world as the unavoidable reality in the truest of meanings. No, there's no need to use such complicated words. Determination or maybe resignation. I have been living in this world. I will live in this world. It is a simple matter of me understanding this from the depths of my heart. Darkness fog. Hikaru. For some mysterious reason, my body felt light. The dark and sticky something that I have always been feeling felt as if it had been taken off somewhat. I ran towards the troll who couldn't react in the darkness, and stab into the throat in one straight line. The monster's spirit vein center was cut. It collapsed making a heavy sound, and changed into a spirit stone the size of a fist. Rufria, can you fight? Hikaru, what? Rufria. When I turned around, Rufria was already done. If she had gotten traumatized to the point that she can't fight because of that grave injury, is the thought I had for a moment, but it looks like that was needless worry. Maybe they are in a bad state. The hunting horn is being blown ceaselessly. Rufria and I calm down for now and perk up our ears to search for the location. The sounds are most likely scattered because of the mist of the dungeon, so it is not easy to pinpoint the location. Wait. Isn't that the direction of the entrance? Damn it, we wasted time. Hikaru, let's go. Rufria, Chapter 104 to 105, Regrouping and Bloody Battle. We ended up in battle against monsters a number of times on the way, but we arrived at the entrance decently soon. That place had already turned into hell. The only ones fighting are Alex and his party. Hikaru. From what I can see, the parties protecting the entrance in the beginning were injured, have retreated to the stairs, and have already withdrawn from the front lines. Joe Jordan and the water spirit users were desperately using their healing abilities, but it is taking their all just to heal them to a degree that they don't die. Right before the stairs to the second floor, there's a boy that seems to be a put to blowing the hunting horn for dear life. Alex and Crabble are somehow managing to stop the demon lord. However, why did the demon lord come this way? Does it really have a desire to leave the dungeon? Or was it the result of it chasing after Alex and his party? Rufria, we will be doing basically the same thing as before. I will be stopping the movements of the demon lord with my darkness, So if it uses Dispel, use Light, and only in the time that the ability is effective. Attack it and then retreat. Got it? Hikaru. Okay, but can we defeat it with that? Rufria. Just forget about the viewer count race. It doesn't matter whether we defeat it or not. What's important is to survive. Hikaru. Really? Rufria. It has been the case since the beginning. There's nothing more important than surviving. Please go to where Alex and his party are and tell them about this strategy. I will be moving by myself. Hikaru. Got it. You be careful too, Hikaru. Rufria. Rufria regroups with Alex and the others. I unsheath my short sword and participate in the battle too. Alex. I will assist you. Darkness fog. Hikaru. Alex and I were on opposite sides of the Demon Lord in terms of positioning. We could go for a pincer attack, but I would rather buy time than go on the offensive. We just have to keep it in place until the other parties that are scattered in the third floor come here. The hunting horn phrase is a complete mess, but if you perk up your ears, you should be able to tell it is close to the entrance. It would be best if the first half parties were to come while we were buying time though. Marchosius is bewildered inside the darkness. Rufria went around the outside of the darkness fog beforehand, and has regrouped with Alex. Summon. Nightbug. Phantom Warrior. Shadowbind. Hikaru. All of them can only serve to buy time. But you could also say they do their job of buying time well. Even with a lack of firepower, there's still ways to use them. In this time, Alex and the others should be able to regain their bearings. The Demon Lord is groaning inside the darkness. It took cautious steps, keeping guard for any attacks coming from anywhere. With this, we have bought some respite. I kept the scope of the darkness high, and regrouped with Alex and Crabble. I asked what I wanted to confirm. Can I have a word? Hikaru. You are? That scared me. Is this voice? Hikaru? This is one astounding ability. This is what's called a dark spirit ability, right? Alex. Yeah. More importantly, the Demon Lord can't move between floors immediately, right? If we run to the second floor, can't we keep this guy bottled here? Hikaru. All the information I have gotten said that the Demon Lord takes time to move between floors. In other words, if we all run to the second floor, the Demon Lord can't go up and give us chase. At least from what I know. Artilda. How was it, Crabble? Alex. About that, I haven't seen one before, but it is apparently not gonna work. If there are only monsters around the Demon Lord, it will eat monsters to gather strength before going up, but in a situation like this, it apparently would just go up normally. Crabble. Really? Hikaru. Yeah. If it ends up with a situation where we withdrew and lost, and even let the Demon Lord come to the surface, we could get hung. That's why. This is pretty dangerous, but there's no choice but to keep it in place here. Crabble. The red-haired Crabble answered the question. So it really is a situation where you can't escape from the Demon Lord. How about slowly falling back? Hikaru. If it goes up, it is going to evolve, right? Crabble. Will it really? Even without gathering strength? Hikaru. That apparently depends on the Demon Lord. But it is certain that the chaotic energy would increase if it were to go up. It is already problematic right now, so I would like to be spared from things getting worse. Crabble. There's no other word to describe this situation but terrible. Though it looks like it isn't the worst. The parties in the third floor should be running here after hearing the horn, and if we buy time, the first half team should be coming too. I separate from Crabble and the others, and seeing that the bind has run out, I casted Shadowbind on the Demon Lord again. Even a moment of bind can be useful here. Phantom Warrior and Nightbug are not bad either. They are methods to distract, but it serves perfectly to keep it in place. Also, I myself am beginning to get used to the movements of the Demon Lord. Being enclosed in the darkness, it is running around here and there searching for prey. When it understands that such efforts are futile, it will cast Dispel. That's basically the pattern. Light. Rufria. Aiming for the moment when the darkness was erased, Rafria casts light. This one hit that burns the retinas that were opened wide inside the pitch-black darkness was effective even against a demon lord, and in those tens of seconds, it is almost completely defenseless. An all-out attack between Rafria, Alex, and Crabble had hit the demon lord full-on. It really is so tough, Hikaru. Even if not on the level of Rafria, the weapons of Alex and Crabble are big. And there's also the big frame of the people themselves, so they can bring out quite the power too. Moreover, in this situation, they can get the first 2 hits in at a practically defenseless target, and yet, it is still far from being a fatal wound. The attacks themselves are connecting. If we repeat this over and over, we should be able to defeat it eventually, but the problem is Rafria's spirit energy. She probably can't use light much. Added the point lone, so I can't exchange crystals for spirit energy potions. After that, I once again enveloped it in the darkness fog, and once it gets dispelled, use light and an all-out attack. You could say it is a certain victory pattern. However, there are holes in this plan. One is that it can stun the people around by using fear. The other one is that this is a combo limited to when Rafria still has spirit energy. And the last one is Guun. It opened up its wings even within the darkness, rising up into the air to escape. We have no means to hit the demon lord when it is flying around. Everyone, be careful of fire breaths and lunges from above. Hikaru, all right. Got it. You be careful too, Hikaru. Alex and the others have pretty high teamwork. They should be able to avoid the charges of the Demon Lord if there's the support of spirit abilities. The problem is the fire breath. Joe Jordan. Once the fire breath comes, please put up a shield. Can you do it? Hikaru. Why yeah. Alex gave me a spirit energy potion, so I should be okay for 5 times. Joe Jordan. Joe Jordan has blocked the fire breath once with his ability before. The timing seemed to be difficult, but the fact that he managed to do it means that contrary to his appearance he is a pretty practiced spirit user. Fire breath is only one of its attack means, but having a countermeasure for one of them is really big in battle. Chapter 105. Full use of darkness and victims. The Demon Lord makes a violent roar and is leisurely flying at around 20 meters up. It is most likely waiting for an opportunity to attack from above. The chances of it attacking me hiding in the darkness is low. Rafria. Alex. Crabble. Even if it charges, there's no need to intercept it. Aim for the opening after it charges and tries to go back up. Leave the fire breaths to Joe Jordan. Hikaru. If they were to get a counter while it is charging, they might be able to deal big damage, but the risk is equally high. It would be safer to modulate both attack and defense. Guun. The Demon Lord made a decently big howl while in midair, and then, after baring its giant fangs, it lunged onto Rafria. As if I will let you. Shadow bind. Hikaru. The dark tentacles appearing from the darkness tie up the Demon Lord, doing a sharp drop as if welcoming it into its arms. They were torn up in an instant, but even with that, it still managed to slow it greatly. If it had been just a few moments ago, it would have been impossible to match the bind with a fast-moving target, but it is possible now that my proficiency has increased. I can instantly make bind appear anywhere, forcefully making it break. It slowed down, but the Demon Lord still charged on, and Rafria easily avoided it. The Demon Lord landed on the ground as if sliding on it and tried to regain its posture, but Alex and Crabble welcomed it with sharp slashes to not let that opening escape. Displeased by the attacks of those two, the Demon Lord moves. However, it seems like it didn't deal that much damage. Half-baked attacks won't be getting through the body of the Demon Lord protected in tough fur. It is either attacking the base of the neck that is their weak point, or aim for its legs or wing to damage its mobility as much as possible. You two, move back. Phantom Warrior. Darkness fog. Hikaru. It is dangerous to fight for too long against a demon lord. I don't want what happened to Rafria to happen all over again. I don't have any means to heal big wounds. The demon lord caught in the darkness gave one big cry and escaped to the air at once. It must have learned after having been hit over and over by the light of Rafria. The demon lord flaps its wings and flies overhead. If it wanted to, it could escape somewhere. But you could say this is as expected of a demon lord. There doesn't seem to be the choice of running away. Those eyes glaring brilliantly were burning with the strong desire of devouring us. Hikaru, it really helps that you are giving orders. It is so tough, so big. We were a complete mess not knowing how to fight it. Alex. After fixing their stances again, Alex ran to where I am. Figures. With our level, fighting it normally would be impossible. Even just now, Rafria had been gravely injured and almost died. Hikaru. Seriously? Is she okay? No, she seems to be okay. Alex. I had points, so I somehow managed. But there's no next time, so let's buy time here and do this safely. If we just do what we did before over and over, we should be able to manage somehow. Hikaru. Are you fine on spirit energy, Hikaru? Alex. Somewhat. Hikaru. The reality is that I can fight in a way where I push myself in order to not lose. There's a limit to my stamina, so it would end up being a battle of attrition, but it is fine as long as reinforcements arrive. The explorers participating in this demon lord subjugation are all silver rank or higher. Even if not, the arrival of a demon lord in itself isn't that rare of an occurrence. If adventurers with full stamina and experience battling demon lords were to come, our job would be over. Now that I think about it, aren't you using your spirit abilities, Alex? Hikaru. Actually, I am still not used to utilizing them at the moment. Also, that guy spits fire, so I don't think fire spirit abilities would be that effective. Alex. Wonder about that. Well, if you are not good at it, then there's no need to force yourself into using them. It does seem like it would be more efficient to just attack normally. Hikaru. Sorry. Please look forward to it next time. I will practice. Alex. I haven't had any issues with using abilities, but maybe fire spirit abilities are difficult to utilize. Or maybe this is the effect of affection of spirits. I do feel like Rafria said that she also practiced her abilities quite a lot. I separate from Alex, and check the state of things while inside the darkness. Because the attack of before failed, the demon lord must have increased its wariness. It isn't coming down at all, but that works just fine for us buying time. And then, it soon happened. Oa. Are you okay? So that's the demon lord this time. Voices of reinforcement came from the other side of the mist. Armed warriors were rushing over while raising their voices. The explorers that had scattered in the third floor have reconvened. I let out a sigh of relief thinking that, with this, things will manage somehow. At that moment, the demon lord soared above, and after one big cry, it headed towards the explorer parties that came to help, and spit out fire everywhere. They were quite far away from us still, so we didn't even have time to warn them. It must have seen the reinforcement as easier prey, or it might have just been simply an instinctive action. The explorers who had fire thrown at them, some would block it with the shields they had, and the backline would try to block it with abilities. Those movements were those of seasoned explorers and there were no problems with that. However, even when spitting out fire, it was using that fire to cover their sights, folding its wings and descending sharply. The warriors were blocking the fire with shields, but because of that, they also ended up blocking their vision. A loud sound of collision rang in the place where the explorer parties had stacked up and the big body of the demon lord had rammed onto. They may be silver rank or higher, but they lacked way too much caution. Because of the sudden heavy attack, the explorers completely fell into a panic. With things in that state, even if they have the numbers, they are just headless chickens. Damn it! Shadow bind. Hikaru. The ability I casted while running was unable to show much effect because there was too much distance. Even in that time, the backline ability users were falling one after the other from the claws and fangs of the Demon Lord. Guiwoon. Is it a cry of victory? Marchosias, who had trampled over 12 people one-sidedly, did light steps, and flew up again. Damn it. It really is learning in battle. Hikaru. It has learned that battling on land isn't favorable, and has decided to take the strategy of hit and run. Monsters turn into spirit stones when they die, so it is normally misunderstood, but that's an actual living being. It has enough brains to think of how to fight. Even if that's not the case, it can use spirit abilities, so it is natural. Are you okay? Recover yourselves before it comes back down, or if not possible, please withdraw to the stairs. Hikaru. Sorry, we suddenly ended up pulling your legs instead. No. More importantly, is there anyone here with the means to attack an enemy above? Be it spirit abilities or bows. Hikaru. We don't have an archer. The spirit abilities as well. I'm sorry. It seems like they died in that attack just now. Died, you say? Hikaru. From what I can see, what should have been 12 explorers have been reduced to 8. With just one charge of the Demon Lord, 4 people have been killed. In battle, the formation and your readiness really defines the result of life or death this much. Marchosias flies leisurely above and awaits a chance for its next attack. Chapter 106, Time before reinforcements and Casket of Darkness. Damn it. We don't have any means to attack flying enemies. The Demon Lord is slowly flying in the air while mixing some hovering, so if we had any means to attack it, it would be a nice target. Marchosias is a chimera that doesn't originally fly in the sky, so it is not like it is skilled at flying. The explorers that came to help out have somehow managed to recover themselves, and the injured ones have withdrawn to the stairs. The members that can still fight regrouped with Alex and the others. The ones with shields will be standing at the front and blocking it when it charges. Fire breaths will be blocked with a water shield. Once it comes to the ground again, we won't let it escape. That's the only fighting style we can think of. However, I think it is really rough to rely on this. You could even say this is gradually turning to the worse. The enemy is slowly growing more and more experienced. I feel like we will eventually crumble completely. Rufria must be feeling the same. Her expression is more serious than anything I have seen before as she looked at the Demon Lord flying. It has barely used fear again, but if it were to spam that, we would definitely be done for. And there's also the chance that it still has more abilities we still haven't seen. Moreover, even if we manage to corner it, there's the chance of it escaping without us being able to defeat it. If it were to switch to escaping, we have no means to stop it. Oh well, even all of this is all hopeful speculation. Alex, when did the reinforcements go up? Even if we are buying time here, I want to know how much time it would be. Hikaru. Reinforcements? They came just now, right? Alex. No, that's not it. Someone has to go and call the first half subjugation team. Hikaru. Alex showed a dumbfounded expression at my question. I felt my back growing cold. I think back to the time when the Demon Lord appeared until now. I told Alex and the others to call for help, but I didn't ask them to go to the surface and call for the first half parties. Or more like, I was told that the second half team moves in a way that they would call the first half team if a Demon Lord shows up, so I might have just jumped to conclusions here. Moreover, if a battle happened soon after they regrouped with other parties at the entrance of the third floor, they wouldn't have the leeway to call for help. There's no need to think about it anymore. So no one has gone to call for reinforcements outside, right? Hikaru. Sorry. We were desperate here, so I don't think there's anyone who has gone to do that. Alex. No. I am not blaming you here. My bad. Hikaru. That means we need to have someone that can get through the second floor and first floor to call for reinforcements. It is not like I am being overly conceited here. But I am sure the front would crumble if I were to leave this place. It would be the fastest if I were to go, but I can't leave. Alex, do you think it would be fine to ask those people to relay the message? Hikaru, the party that regrouped just now. If they are silver rank, they should be able to get out from the second floor pretty fast with 2 or 3 people. We are not going to fight together. It would be pretty dangerous with just us, you know? Alex, no, leaving things as they currently are would be worse. We don't even have the means to attack a flying enemy. If we can get the Crimson Vials of the first half team, we should be able to wrap this up for sure. Hikaru, the Crimson Vials is the mithril rank explorer party that's led by the crimson-haired Garnet-san. They also have an archer. Their strength is plainly on another level to begin with. To return to the guild, gather people, and bring them all the way here. It would take around 2 to 3 hours at the very least. Hikaru, can we endure for that long? Alex, if we are lucky, maybe you will get 1 point. Alex, if that happens, you can buy a barrier stone, and we can somehow manage. Hikaru, I will be using a point. You could get 1 too, right, Hikaru? Alex, no, I have done a point loner 3, so I can't do it. Hikaru, seriously? Can't be helped then. Alex, using a barrier stone is convenient, but that would mean the Demon Lord would lose its targets. When that happens, it might begin moving to the higher floors. Just as Crabble said, having it go up floors would create even higher risks. I want us to stand ground here if possible. Then, I will go tell them. Alex, yeah, tell them to be as fast as possible. Hikaru, got it. Alex. After Alex went off, I cast darkness fog and hid myself, and then opened the status board. Thanks to the viewers going up to 1 billion, my crystals have increased, but those numbers are half transparent, and are unavailable for use. Because of the point loan, not only points, I can't even use crystals. It is 3:30 AM. The first half party members must be fast asleep. Even if we were to go call them now, there's no knowing if they would immediately come to help. Hikaru. It was a coincidence that I noticed this, but it was something that was in the corner of my mind. I was going to learn a new ability soon. My shadow bind that was in tier 2 is increased to tier 3. Casket of Darkness, Dark Coffin. Proficiency 0. Dark Coffin is the higher grade of Shadow Bind, and I can tell by feeling that it can't be activated in midair. But this is a good development in a situation where we are in a stalemate as it is. Alex spoke to the explorers, and it seems like they will be going back up with 4 people out of 8. The other 4 will be staying. The remaining ones are 2 shield bearers and 2 ability users. The Demon Lord spits out fire at Alex and the others. Joe Jordan stopped it somehow with a water screen, but the lunge after that is rough. Rather than the fangs and the claws, it is more the mass crashing onto them that is turning into one powerful attack. Even if our side is stronger than the average human, we can't get out unscathed from a charge of a creature of that size. And the reality is that the warriors holding their shields up were blown away, unable to stand the hit. Fortunately, there's no heavy injuries, but with things like this, we won't even be able to buy time. Even when we try to attack it once it comes down to the ground, it soon flies away. There's currently no explorer here who can restrain this creature with an overall length of 5 meters. My spirit abilities are barely managing to stay effective, but the positioning and timing are difficult. Damn it. This is just slowly turning to the worse. Hikaru, any ideas? Alex. There's agitation showing in the face of Alex. Without a decisive move, we humans get exhausted faster than monsters. If only it lands close to me, I might be able to manage something, but not when it is flying. At the very least, we need an archer. Hikaru, if we take away its choice of flying, the possibility of defeating it with the combo of darkness, fog and light appears. Of course, it is not for certain since it is chaotic spirit abilities. but we should be in quite the advantageous position in that scenario. However, there's no helping that we don't have an archer. The first floor has skeletons which aren't suitable for archers. The second floor is a prison and there's a lot of narrow rooms, so it isn't suitable for bows. In the third floor there's mist, so it turns into a close battle almost as soon as you encounter monsters. The fourth floor is the one with the highest compatibility with bows, but it is dark, and there's a lot of cramped places, so it is not a place where you should force yourself to use one. And so, archers would be fighting mainly in the fifth floor and lower. The fifth floor has stairs going down in a spiral at the outer circumference of the cavity, so the bow apparently does quite a lot of work. Also, the Crimson Vials actually have an archer. Anyways, let's wait until reinforcements arrive. Hikaru. Yeah, that thing is also being cautious here. It isn't attacking as much, so that alone is a saving. Alex. We can only hope that the Demon Lord Sama doesn't change its mind. Hikaru. I have this conversation with Alex while keeping our attention on the Demon Lord flying and seeking a chance to attack. Hikaru. Rufria. At some point in time, Rufria had come to my side. Chapter 107 to 108. Her secret and dark coffin. Rufria had come to my side at some point in time. She is a close-range battle specialist, but it is hard for her to perform in a situation like this. There really is no other choice but to hit it with the higher tier ability of Shadow Bind. Dark Coffin. I don't know how much it can immobilize it, but it should have more effectiveness than Shadow Bind. If we do well, we might be able to lower its movement greatly. Rufria. Nice timing. When it comes down, I will restrain it with my new spirit ability. When that happens, hit it with all you have. Hikaru. Rufria. Of course, without being reckless, that is, it should have more restraining power than Shadow Bind, so no need to hold back. Go all, Hikaru. Listen. Rufria yanked my sleeves hard. When I looked back, she had a grim expression, however, it had determination in it. That's the kind of face that was looking straight at me. What's the matter? Did you really get injured somewhere? Hikaru. No, that's not it. Haven't told you something, Hikaru. No, there's something I have to tell you. Rufria. What? Or more like, does it have to be now? Hikaru. I can tell that she has to tell me something important, but we are currently in the very middle of a battle against a Demon Lord. There's no knowing when the Demon Lord will be plunging again even while we are standing here. Actually, I do have an attack that can hit flying targets. Rufria. Really? Like throwing your sword? It is true that it is a distance that projectiles might reach, but, Hikaru. No, that's not it. Rufria. While being cautious of the Demon Lord flying, she hesitated for a moment in saying it. And Hikaru. Just like how you couldn't tell me that you came from another world and that unknown people are watching you, I also had something I couldn't tell you. Actually. Even though I should have told you. If I were to tell you that, I thought that I wouldn't be able to stay by your side anymore. So selfish, right? Even though we are in so much trouble here, even now. I have been hiding it all this time. Rufria. What's the matter? Rufria. What are you saying, Hikaru? I told you that I won't be doing spirit ability training anymore, right? Actually, when I went to the Great Spirit Sama's place the day before that, I had low hopes. But then. Rufria. After saying that much, Rufria hesitates in her words. She looked straight to the front and directed her right hand up. I can feel spirit energy gathering on the palm of Rufria. That became a shining sphere, and it is being collected in front of her palm as if energy is converging there. Could it be? Hikaru. I thought we would somehow manage with these many explorers. That's why I thought I didn't need to say it. That I will keep it a secret. That's why, even in a situation like this, I couldn't say it. But after saving my life twice already. I can't continue being so selfish. Rufria. The shining sphere was flickering repeatedly as if wanting to be released from her at any moment. She looked straight at the demon lord circling above and directed her palm at it. Pierce. Photon ray. Rufria. The dazzling and shining streak of light that shot out from the palm of Rufria shallowly cuts the wing of the demon lord flying, and a spray of blood rains from above. The demon lord raised a cry of anger at the attack from the ground that it thought we had none of. It wasn't to the point where it can't fly anymore, but it must have learned now that flying isn't completely safe. We want to bring the fight to the ground, so the effect of this one attack is big. I am not so dense as to not understand the reason why she kept this a secret. I also know just how conflicted she must have felt in confessing this. It is not like I am not thinking in a situation like this. But I have no right to blame her. I missed. Haha. My spirit energy might be in a bad state. Rufria. It is difficult to use an ability all of a sudden in real battle. But that was impressive, Rufria. Hikaru. If it were a literal speed of light attack, it might have hit right on target. But it isn't actually that fast. I don't know the physics of this world, but it is a speed that can be barely followed with the eye. It is a power brought by spirit energy, so it might be different from the light in nature. Gwoon. The demon lord raised a cry resembling a roar while blood flowed from its wing, changed course in midair, and took a stance to plunge. Even if we have found a means to attack flying targets, it is not like the tides of battle will suddenly turn. The battle continues. It is not the time to lower our guards. Alex. It is diving your way. Hikaru. Got it. Please provide backup. Alex. I will try. Hikaru. The demon lord glides down to the ground together with a roar. It is aiming for Alex, but the shield-bearing warriors stand at the front to try and stop it. However, it is impossible to stop the charge from the front. The warriors were sent flying as if they had been hit by a car, as one would expect. Even so, there's no way I am going to let this chance escape. Dark coffin. Hikaru. I feel spirit energy escaping from me. After one breath, a dark giant coffin appeared with the demon lord as the origin point, as if swallowing its target. The demon lord notices the abnormality and makes steps in a way to get out of the coffin. The coffin of darkness was completely one instant too late. Alex. Sorry. I missed. Hikaru. Can't be helped. Aura. Alex. The spear attack of Alex was easily deflected. The demon lord opened distance with deft steps and took flight again. It managed to incapacitate several explorers that came to aid with just one attack. So it must have learned that dives from the air are effective, and it would actually be bad if it were to repeat those. Even so, it would be a poor plan to escape to the stairs. The stairs have bad footing. A monster in 4 would have the advantage. And most of all, we would be done for if it were to continuously spit out fire in there. Stacking all those negatives, you could say the enemy sticking to dives isn't that bad of a situation. The demon lord has a good head, but it is lacking in some fronts. That's why we can take advantage of those lacking elements. Marchosius flies overhead. I can't tell how much damage we have dealt to it, but it doesn't look like it is dying anytime soon. The sight of the demon lord soaring above made me feel as if it even has leisure. Chapter 108. Hearing the voice of the spirits and locking it up in a coffin. Rufria. Can you shoot it one more time? Hikaru. Yeah, if it is one more. I think I can. Rufria. Rufria answered that, but honestly, her spirit energy looks like it is on its limit. Not only has she shot several lights today, the new spirit ability seems to have a high cost in spirit energy. Also, I have no spirit energy potion. I can't use both crystals and points. Alex, got any spirit energy potions? Or if you have crystals, please buy one. I will definitely pay you back later. Hikaru. Sorry, I already used them all. The one I gave to Jal was the last one. Alex, is there any other person here that has one? Hikaru. The backline spirit users all shook their heads to the sides. Spirit energy potions are expensive items. This result can't be helped. Rafria squeezed her strength and gathered spirit energy into her palm. Spirit abilities can display their strength in the form of abilities by making a contract and borrowing their power. However, for the spirit energy itself, you have to use your own. That's why there's a limit to how many spirit abilities a person can use. You are R.Q. Rafria. The light gathering in the palm of Rafria was flickering powerlessly. Photon Ray is an ability that allows you to hit from long distances, and on top of that, it is fast and it has high firepower. It must use quite a lot of spirit energy. No matter how I look at it, she has no energy left in her to shoot it one more time. Then there's no choice but to bring it from the outside. Spirits, please help out Rafria. We will bring down the Demon Lord. Hikaru. Hikaru? What are you saying? Rafria. Spirits have wills. They might help out if you call out to them. Hikaru. I speak to the spirits. On Earth I obviously didn't feel the stir of the spirits. I certainly can feel what's like the touch of them in this world. Please, if you guys have wills, help us out this once. Hikaru. Kyakia. Are we beating up that scary one? Beat it up. Fu. I heard voices. I could feel light spirits gathering in the surroundings. I could see twinkling light beads faintly floating. Are these light spirits? Rafria. Can you see them? The light spirits have come to help out. It seems like demon lords and spirits are in a hostile relationship. Hikaru. Light spirits. I'm not a loved one, so I can't see them. Rafria. So she can't see this. But it is certain that the light spirits want to lend Rafria their strength. However, the light gathering in the palm of Rafria is still flickering and isn't enough to activate. I stretch my hand out, move to the back of Rafria, who had sweat flowing down from her forehead, as if hugging her, and hold her wrist. Wait, Hikaru? Rafria, the spirits want to lend you their strength. Aim well. Listen to the voices of the spirits. Hikaru. The gift that is the affection of spirits. That's apparently called loved one in this world, but I have borrowed the strength of spirits in the past. At the time when I ran out of spirit energy and was about to die in that forest, I borrowed their strength and used Create Undead, somehow managing to get out. Probably only people with affection can borrow the strength of spirits directly. But Fu. Scary one is bad one. Beat it, okay? Use us. Children of light, gather. I can hear them. The voices of the spirits. Rafria. Looks like their voices reached Rafria through me. Mysterious voices, right? Hikaru. Yeah. They sound as if they are right by my side, and as if they were really far. Also I can feel it. Spirit energy is entering my body. Spirits are really giving me their strength? Rafria. That's right. They say they want you to defeat the Demon Lord. Hikaru. I can feel power going into her with my body as the intermediary. And at the same time, the light in the photon ray grew brighter and bigger to an incomparable degree from last time. Hikaru. I can feel it too. I can feel the spirits are lending me their strength. Rafria. Looks like the spirits really hate the Demon Lord. Hikaru. The sparkly and shining particles gathered onto Rafria, forming a giant mass of light, a size that can't compare to the last photon ray. The Demon Lord was leisurely flying around and most likely recovering its stamina, but it must have noticed the abnormality below. It changed its course rapidly, and switched with the intention of plunging at us. Looks like the Demon Lord doesn't like this light. It is coming right at us. Can you hit it? Hikaru. Yeah. Leave it to me. I definitely won't miss it. Rafria. With its sharp knife-like fangs in full display, the Demon Lord approaches us as if sliding down mid-air. A roar like that of tearing fabric echoed, and we, who were standing right on a straight line from it, even felt as if that voice had actual mass to it. However, the light gathered in the palm of Rafria had enough promise that it was enough to push away that fear. Aside from the attack of Rafria, I also calculate the distance, speed, and timing of the Demon Lord. Pierce photon ray. Refria pa. The giant photosphere was shot with such force it made that kind of firing sound, turning into a beam, and connecting straight onto the Demon Lord charging at us. The beam passed by the right cheek of the wolf face, piercing it just like that, severing the base of the right wing, and cutting half of the left wing too. Goa. Having lost its wings, the Demon Lord is falling this way while spinning. At this rate, it will crash into me and Refria. At this rate, that is. Dark coffin. Hikaru. A dark coffin appears right in front of us. A deep darkness as if it had manifested from hell. An icosahedron darkness that had clear contours. The Demon Lord that crashed from above was swallowed inside that darkness just like that from the momentum. The door of the coffin closes. And then, after that, silence reigns in the place. What about the Demon Lord? Did you trap it inside that? Refria. Yeah. But this ability is different from bind in that it is only an ability that completely restrains them. Hikaru. In exchange, its binding power is strong. That's why we can just leave it restrained like this. While the ability is active, the Demon Lord won't be attacking us, and we can buy time. But the spirit energy being drained from my body is so astounding that darkness fog doesn't even compare. And my spirit energy will most likely be completely dry by around 10 minutes. There's no means to attack the trapped monster inside the coffin from outside. Aside from one exception, I could tell by instinct as the user. I will be going for a bit. Hikaru. Wait, Hikaru? Refria. Darkness fog. Hikaru. I spread the darkness, held my short sword, and ran.